Your partner said you studied birds to improve the game animation. Did you touch them?
Can't dissect without touching. It's the best way to understand the anatomy.
It's also a good way to contract an infection called psittacosis. We spoke to Dr. Foreman. He wants to start you on antibiotics.
Does that infection cause problems in the joystick area? Kind of stuck in play mode.
Yes, we get it. She's very, very pretty.
It's not her. I mean, it was. When she was here with her boyfriend 3 hours ago.
You've had an erection for 3 hours?
About the $5,000 designer meth that did interviews with people who were on it, and they're like, this one of the interviewees is like, man, this is the shit JFK was getting crammed up his ass during the Cuban Missile Crisis, keep him awake 5 days at a time. It's disrespectful to even call this shit.
What was that?
Christian sent the link on Twitter. It's just like designer meth that's so expensive.
Designer meth. All right, you know our addresses, people. Hi, TalkRadar 71. We live to serve.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
To hold out from last week's Disney podcast.
Yes, no more Disney stuff this week. So stop your bitching. I know you guys are too old to care. Blah blah blah. Yeah, just go ahead and wince, Charlie. Yeah.
I can't do that audibly, but
yeah. Go ahead and wince. You should. I don't care about Disney. Want to go to Disney World? Fuck yeah. Who would say no? Who would say no? And why would you? Moving on. I'm calling this a bit. This is a renovation podcast. Next, we're building improvements, and I got a new computer this week filled with. I had to redo all my sound effects, including stuff I haven't used.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Wow.
Yeah, stuff I haven't used in forever.
You know what your new laptop has, Chris?
What?
Has a little webcam here that you could
I saw that.
have a live feed for people to watch.
Ever since they invented that, I've always been worried about taking a good wank. Ever since they built a webcam that could turn on for no reason. But yeah, it's not going to be bad. We're working our way through it. We're going to talk a lot about ODST. We got some news, and we're definitely giving away Trick or Treat on DVD. It's some new horror movie. From Bryan Singer, producer.
Really?
I'm not really sure. I don't know much about it. And had signed off on Public Enemy's Batman vs. Superman, another DC animated DVD. I just don't have them on me. But I think we're going to do another contest for that too. So 2 contests. We're going to announce a bunch of winners. Let's do this. Everybody's back. Oh, I'm Christopher.
I'm Michael Raparez.
Michael Raparez. He is. What do you do? Just say what.
I'm also talking over Brett.
Just say what.
But I'm the PlayStation editor. Senior PlayStation editor.
This is Brett Elston, senior Nintendo editor, and presently coming down with some kind of illness that has been going around the office.
This is Charlie, senior Microsoft editor, sitting across from Brett and very afraid of him and his
Told you.
Exhaling
Sound effects.
Wait, I didn't hear that. What was it?
That was
Charlie!
That's BioShock, baby. BioShock.
Really?
Charlie!
I like that. It's a good game.
Yeah, that's why we have Chuck Barrett on for a single segment, because he's the one who knows the most about our top 7 this week, which was what?
It was about ODST, the top 7 things that ODST does better than Halo 3.
Yes.
Which Halo ODST being Bungie's attempt at artificially tentpoling another fall lineup for Microsoft.
Which I guess the technically correct title would be Things Halo 3 ODST does better than Halo 3, parentheses, the original one without ODST. I actually don't think that ODST is a better game than Halo 3, which if you read my review, you would know that. But there are some things that it does better, and I hope that they take those lessons when they make future Halo games.
Being the only other person at this table who has beaten ODST, I agree with you.
Oh well.
I actually think I enjoyed this. I think I enjoyed the single player a bit more, just because Halo 3 just felt like the same game I'd played 1 and 2. There wasn't a sense of escalation really, whereas ODST at least had a sense of nuance.
Yeah,
Minor nuance. There's some like really missteps.
There are a lot of things that are better about ODST's single player, except for the fact that it's about 50% the length.
Yeah,
of
it's
Halo
way
3.
short.
Really?
Yeah,
That's short?
I went the whole thing, audio logs and everything, in like 2.5 days.
Yeah,
Not even like really hammering it, just kind of like I'll play ODST here and there.
Yeah.
And Charlie made a good point in his review that the game, every mission, when you think you're getting to the halfway point, mission's over.
Yeah, so that's not just a problem with length. There's also, I mean, most of it, I think the overall thing is paced well. But, yeah, when you're in the mission, you're like, oh, this is really building up. This is getting good. Oh, it's over.
It's over. And also the characters, which we'll get to. I'll stop
We'll get to my favorite thing. Because I did play a little bit, and I thought it was a nifty little departure, but the big complaint seems to be that it's $60 DLC.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of a glorified bonus disc.
I wouldn't call it DLC, but it's definitely a $60 expansion pack.
Yeah, so I guess when you put it laid out in seven thesis statements, Charlie.
It does kind of make a clear case for itself being an expansion pack, given that its title is not just Halo ODST, but Halo 3
Right.
ODST.
Yeah, it is very
So
strange.
there's something about disappointment expectations there, but basically I gave it a 7 because it's $60 for about 6 hours of gameplay.
Yeah. Which, number 7 on the list. Of top 7 things ODST does better than Halo 3 on Games Radar.
The protagonists, the heroes. I put that one first because people like Master Chief, and I'm saying these guys are more interesting than Master Chief.
I have played very little of it, and I gotta say I liked. Who could guess Buck a little better? We'll get to that later. Here's a clip of Buck.
You gonna tell us her name, Gunny?
Ms. Naval Intelligence. Our new boss. So check your mouths, find your chairs, and get set for a combat trouble.
Nathan Fillion.
I know that guy.
Nathan Fillion.
Get set!
The entire character he's playing is
Nathan
very
Fillion.
clearly Mal. It's such Mal.
That's going to be the character he's basically playing the rest of his life.
But and that's not untrue. But like, entire lines of dialogue he speaks in this game as Buck, like kind of the leader of this ODST group. It just sounds like the exact kind of intonation as Mal. He even like says the exact phrases and even gets the same defensive tone. But that's really cool, and you'll hear later. Adam Baldwin is another voice in the game of one of the characters.
Ruining later segments
that I couldn't tell you.
Somebody had described Nathan Fillion as, I think, Harrison Ford, but only because his character in Firefly is similar to Han Solo.
It's not.
And Harrison Ford always played the same character.
Did he?
Yes.
Han Solo was great in Sabrina.
Seriously, you're gonna tell me? Maybe what was that one movie where he's deaf or something? Like maybe he was different in that one, and then he became an old man, and he became old Harrison Ford.
Right.
But he's always been Harrison Ford, and that was okay. So why is it okay for Nathan Fillion? It is, even when he has the mumps, like in Halo ODST, and looks like a little Down syndrome. I don't know why they didn't make his face.
The faces look really bad.
Yeah, really. I feel like
they look way bad.
The graphics are almost the same, but all the characters, they look like doughy, they all are swelling up.
It looks like someone was giving notes about how the characters looked, and like, don't play this up, but Nathan Fillion's face is asymmetrical.
God, I wish I'd mentioned that in the review now. I kind of thought it was just me, but
no.
When they take their helmets off, which is supposed to be a big deal because it's eye contact and it's not Master Chief, it's a person in the suit.
He looks
like gross. Put it back on.
Looks like Haley Joel Osment in AI when he ate too much spinach.
It's like he's had a mini stroke.
Yes.
On his left side.
As much as I like that you play different heroes and they all have somewhat different personalities, it's pretty hard to tell them apart. Especially when they all have one-word names. Butch, Dutch,
Romeo.
Dutch. My name's Gun.
My name's Bullet Face.
Trigger. Bullet Face.
But yeah, at the end of the game, when they arrive in this like floating spaceship to come pick you up and pull you out of there, we got you. Day is saved. You can see all their names highlighted on the. It's called the Phantom. It's this big ship that they land, and I see Dutch, Romeo, Barkface, or whatever his name is, and I'm like, wait, I played all of those characters do their own stories, and I don't know who they are. Like, it does a really bad job of making them stand out.
I can tell them apart, but only because it's my job to tell them apart. Otherwise, I would never.
Even then, today, Charlie told me the wrong name for Nathan Fillion's character.
No, I did not. It's
What's
Butch.
his name? It's Buck.
Oh God, you're right.
See,
I couldn't believe they named someone Dutch. That's
Dutch.
That's a classic. That's a classic nickname. What's your problem with Dutch?
Because Predator already did that.
Oftentimes, it happens when a character's name is Holland. He gets nickel named.
Wow.
But also, in terms of being the protagonist, aren't these characters, they're a little weaker than Master Chief, the Jedi Ninja?
Yeah, that's true, which I don't think you'll notice very much in normal difficulty, but if you put it up to heroic, or especially legendary, and heroic is the way they recommend people play, even though I think most people play on normal anyway, you'll definitely notice them being weaker and shorter and slower, and you'll run away more, you'll hide more, which makes for a different Halo experience.
I definitely found myself
not running
playing as Master Chief and then dying repeatedly because of that, and then going, oh right, I have to like take cover, think about the direction I'm going, because there's all these side tunnels you can take to flank enemies, and it does play a little differently.
Yeah, I feel like
it feels like they stopped short. They have like half of a great idea of like a different kind of Halo experience, and then it just kind of stops and is mostly just regular Halo.
And
that'll bring us into the number 6 on the top 7 things ODST does better than Halo 3: the story and structure.
Right. Well, just in the story, which goes back to the protagonists, is I like how they don't really know what they're doing, like why they're doing this. You know, Master Chief is not only he doesn't say anything, but you assume that he pretty much knows what he's doing at all times. These guys are just following orders, and I guess it's supposed to be like, oh, but what's the real mission? I still didn't understand the real mission by the end of the game, but I like that. Yeah, exactly. But I like the angle that they're just kind of just grunts, just like the Gears guys or like guys in Saving Private Ryan. You don't need to know what the whole war is. You just know what these guys' parts in it are.
And the structure does it's mostly flashback. You all shoot down on these pods, which I think we all kind of assumed was going to be in the game more than just the opening for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Because they're
orbital drop shot troopers.
Drop troopers. So I just assumed
Triceratops.
Yeah. Triceratops. I assumed there would be more of that, but it's just that opening. But then the game is the rookie trying to figure out what happened to everyone when they landed. You find all these things that remind him of his teammates. That triggers a flashback mission. Eventually, you end up back in the present day where everyone's now met up, and then you go do the mission you were all there to do in the first place.
When you first start, it seems like it's going to be really different and really fun because you wander through the night and it's all kind of rainy and dark and mysterious, and you find your first item, and it's like, well, this is really good storytelling.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then you get to the next one, you're like, oh wait, this is just going to repeat 6 times and end.
And the thing that bothered me, even though I loved the atmosphere and the story and the structure, in this case, it was just strange in that you use the visor, and that's a big calling card of the ODST troops, is that they have the visor that outlines everything in yellow, red, or blue. Like yellow is terrain, red is an enemy, and green, I guess, is a friendly.
Yes.
Something like that. But if you turn it off, you can't see shit.
Nope.
Nothing. Not a thing. And that's the only time you can really see all the ambient lighting and all the really cool atmospheric effects. And that's when I go, wow, what a pretty game. What an interesting take on Halo. But nope, I cannot navigate it, so I have to turn the visor on, which makes everything look bland.
Keep it off, and you can't see what you're supposed to be doing. And keep it on, and it removes everything that makes the game atmospheric.
Yeah, and it's just such
every level look the same when you turn the visor on.
Which goes great with an article talking about how much better it is than Halo 3.
Yeah, we really are not sticking to it.
Let's move on to number 5.
I think I'm getting really sick of alternate sight modes in general. Wolfenstein had something similar where it's like you go into the Veil and it's much easier to get around, and there's all these things you can shoot and explode, but it's just everything turns green, and you'll end up spending most of the game.
Arkham.
Don't you dare attack detective mode. I love detective mode.
Yeah, detective mode, the same thing. I feel like I'll forget I've left it on, and I'm like, man, why is this room so goddamn blue? And then, oh wait, it was vibrant green with waterfalls and all this cool shit, and I'm like, damn it, I've been walking around with detective mode.
Yeah, you pretty much skip that on throughout the entire Predator mode anyway.
Oh yeah. Number 5.
Number 5 is voice acting.
Voice acting.
I have a clip here of Buck and Dutch having an exchange.
Let's say you did kill us. Or didn't. It could be torture. Whatever. But somehow, you found the goods. What would your cut be?
7% straight off the top.
7?
Very happy right now.
What?
Does that seem low to you?
7% standard.
Okay. Zoe, I'm paying you too much.
Why? What does she get?
Knock it off.
See what I did there?
Out of gas.
See what I did there? Out of gas. Good call, Elson. Hold on. You get one of these if I can find it. Yes.
Firefly. Good shit.
Firefly.
We got Adam Baldwin, who's Jane, and Nathan Fillion, who was Mal. Great exchanges, and there's even a couple of nods to Firefly in the show.
This is actually Buck and Dutch in the game. Also Adam Baldwin, Nathan Fillion, Jane, and Mal from Firefly.
Glad you boys are safe and sound. Likewise, Gunny. You need a pickup?
As long as you're offering. We're in the police HQ.
I was originally concerned because Adam Baldwin was doing his Jane voice.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't talk like that all the time.
No, he's in X-Files a lot, and he doesn't talk like that
But
at
he's
all.
very subordinate to this character, and that makes it, I don't know, a couple scenes I saw completely different from Firefly. He doesn't question Gunny Buck's orders ever.
No,
And
it was
what is
really
this? Mickey and Dutch.
You're from Mickey, Dutch?
Oh, I thought I had Mickey, Demolition Guy, is Wash. It's Wash.
Is it Wash, really?
It's Wash.
Oh,
Oh my
Alan
God.
Tudyk.
It's Wash. Oh my God.
Damn it! I didn't even pick up on that at all.
Yeah.
God damn it!
And wait, the woman is
Trisha Helfer from Battlestar
Yes.
Galactica.
also a
Six.
Playboy. I recommend Googling that.
The blonde,
Actually, check the TalkRadar 71 page. We're going to post naked pictures of Trisha, whatever her name is.
the blonde.
But it'll only
sci-fi.
show up if you click 5 times.
Yes.
Yes, you got to refresh about 3,000 times.
We're going to hide pictures of her nipples all over the site. Can you put... All right.
Just nipples randomly in article templates.
Yes, like a bad Mario puzzle.
Yeah.
We'll have to slide them together.
But it's cool that there's a mission where which character does Adam Baldwin play?
Dutch.
He makes a reference to Vera, his gun in Firefly.
No, I meant to get that clip.
And I finally heard it, and it's very clearly he says it's in the haze of like a big firefight. So I just heard Vera, blah, blah. And then another level, Mal Buck says you must be the stupidest monkeys in the verse, and everyone knows that verse is a very Firefly thing.
I use it all the time in like
verse.
every article I use now. I hate saying universe. I always say the verse.
All right.
And I still don't have a definitive way on how to write it. Atmosphere, Charlie, number 4 on top 7 things ODST does
You
better.
already kind of touched on that when we talking about the visors, but yeah,
Good, because I forgot something that I meant to get clips of.
For what?
Adam Baldwin. You don't know him from Firefly. Damn it, I meant to grab a clip of that.
He's not a Baldwin brother.
He's Animal Mother in Full Metal Jacket.
Oh.
Which every war game I played before consoles, one person in every server is named Animal Mother. How do you kill women and children? You don't lead them as much. Thank God for the sickle cell. Like, no boom boom for Soul Brother. That's what from Full Metal Jacket. He has like all these like memorable and oft quoted in the South at least lines from Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket. And that was such a long time ago. I can't believe he's still playing young.
How old is he?
I guess he had to have been like a teenager.
Huh.
Anyway, so
atmosphere, like the Mombasa Streets hub world that you go into all the flashback missions is it's actually like Halo at night, which is interesting to see, and glowing skyscrapers. I mean, it looks pretty when you actually look up.
I saw a lot of cities and
it's all in New Mombasa. So.
And
it's kind of backed up by the audio logs that you find. You see this entirely separate story of a girl that's running around, and it's kind of you find these 30 audio logs hidden throughout the game, and as you collect them, you get a little bit more of the story, and so it does flesh out.
It makes it feel like
the ground level kind of story going on. Whereas when you're running around as Master Chief, it's like you're at the forefront of the entire fight,
and it makes it feel like this is happening to our future rather than some random crazy bizarre future, because you see police sirens and ATM machines
That's
and
true.
graffiti
I never
scrolls.
saw much of a human element in the Halo.
Except in Halo 2, where they go to the same place in Mombasa, but that was very much like during the
day.
days
It's
it was
like
deserty.
The only
like,
people there are like hyper military, high level military people. And
here it's like you feel like there were civilians that
civilians.
used to live there. There was a population and people. There's people displaced and killed.
To say one thing about just the atmosphere, or looking at the map of the city, or watching the audio logs while your HUD is up, while you're looking at the the world continues around you. So like I was watching an audio log and the screen starts the controller vibrates, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Nothing's happening. They're just talking, and then I die.
Yeah,
I'm just listening to shit.
I would get an audio log, and then I would just have to go find a dark alleyway corner to hide and crouch behind a dumpster so I could listen to the audio log, because there's randomly patrolling units. They're going to find you while you're listening to this like 3-minute long audio log.
I think I paused the game because I bring up the HUD. I bring up like menus and shit, and then all of a sudden, dead.
And if they're going to do that, then they have to make it more transparent so you can see that something's there. But it's like it comes up, it's opaque. It covers almost the entire screen.
Yeah.
That was a dumb design.
But
choice.
it does have, if nothing else, it is a cooler idea and a cooler atmosphere than Halo 3. I will agree to that.
Yeah.
It's easy to absorb walking around the rookie's missions as he tries to find all those clues.
Even the rookie is silent, like Master Chief, but for some reason I still like him more than Master Chief.
We can make this short and sweet because you've been hearing it the whole time. The music in ODST, like I was sitting next to Tyler and Charlie as they captured this game in our video unit, capturing the Grizzly Disney stuff. and I thought the music was fucking captivating. Like I
Yeah.
really liked
It's
it.
actually subtle for once.
Yeah, and it wasn't like an overwhelming score every time more than 3 people were shooting at you. It's,
But then when it does get big, it feels more important that it's gotten big because it wasn't big the entire time.
Now, there's a lot of like
beautiful back.
as you know, video game music being my thing. I was really taken with the music. Like the most standout thing of the whole game was just the music as you walk through. It's been called smoky jazz, but also just a lot of like good electronic, more sedate undertones. I don't know. It's great ambient music.
I think the Halo theme, the original Halo theme, is iconic and great
It's
as far as
good.
themes go. But we've made that complaint before, especially when I'm trying to pull related music to the games we're talking about. Every game now uses an orchestral score, and they all sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You needed to find like riff and melody to make me know that it's Indiana Jones versus Superman versus Jurassic Park versus Star Wars, all John Williams, but they all sound different.
Yes, I could play you Killzone and Alone in the Dark right now,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of Blade Runner, which matched the atmosphere.
yeah,
the rainy
maybe that's
nights.
what it was.
I think it's
All right, good call, Barat.
Moving on,
two.
Number 2.
my page won't
Multiplayer.
Is that what I wrote?
Firefight.
There you go. Made it easy on you.
Yeah,
there.
Firefight. We played a little bit at E3, and that was.
I mean, yeah. So you're getting same multiplayer as Halo 3, but you get all the maps if you haven't been keeping track of them, and you get Firefight, which is, for me, I like. Well, I mean, yeah, I like co-op multiplayer more than
co-op more.
than versus. Halo 3's got good multiplayer because you can do all those custom games like pirate ships and races, but this is my favorite co-op survival mode so far, just because.
Really?
I mean, Gears, I like Horde a lot, and I like Left 4 Dead Survival, but I like how this one you're getting vehicles, and it's faster, and it's more variety. You know, somebody might be using a pink needler, somebody else might be using a rocket, somebody else might use a laser, somebody else might be in a ghost, somebody might be in a warthog, 3 people might be in a warthog.
You know how long you've made it thus far? What's the longest you've made it?
I have no idea.
You haven't had much time to like really dig into it. I made it 2.5 minutes, but I accidentally started the game with myself only.
I think I made it through like 5 or 6 waves. That was just me and Joe playing at the event, though.
Okay.
I haven't had many chances to play 4 people, so I really want to.
Shit. Haven't had many chances to play video games. You're telling me. I'm gonna do it though. Oof. But number 1 is probably needs some explanation to everybody. Hold on, I need to find some sound effect. Number 1
is strategy. We also touched on this a little bit earlier. The fact that these guys, especially if you play in heroic or legendary, they're shorter, they're weaker, they're slower. They can't use equipment like Master Chief can. They can't dual wield, so it just forces you to do things you never thought you'd do in a Halo game, like hide and run, and actually think about your approach rather than just running in and going, "I'll eventually kill you if I just throw enough grenades at you."
I think that's where most of the disappointment for the
accident.
Most of the disappointment for this game came from is like the promise or the hint that this was going to be the Call of Duty of Halos, that it's going to be a very, running from hotspot to hotspot, collecting information, or it was going to be a little bit more intense and a little more personal, and it was in some degrees, but they didn't take it the next step because even though I'm taking cover, it still feels very Halo. I still can stop, regain my stamina, and then collecting health packs is literally as easy as turning around. There's a health pack, and now I'm back.
There's usually like 5 per station.
Yeah, and
if you're gonna make us crouch a lot, then don't make it so Halo's crouch button is still holding the stick,
holding the stick down. It's just like there's so many great ideas that it feels like, well, we've only got 2 years to do this.
But I feel like I was either, like you said, imagining a more intense story, character-driven thing like Call of Duty, or I kind of bought into the hype of it being more investigative and strategy, like Grawl. And it was just like 10% of into both of those things.
It's a diluted Halo experience. It's like Halo cut with a little Grawl and a little Call of Duty, but the end result is not the 3 combined. It's like the weakest aspects of all of them and the strongest of one.
And then really short. But I mean, I don't think it's Bungie's fault. I think they've made like Michael said, it's Halo 3, ODST.
Yeah,
I think at some point, Microsoft's like, so you guys are making this expansion to be a placeholder till Halo Reach. Can we just hype that up and make that the huge, big Christmas release this year?
Sure.
And I think it got carried away, and people expected, and maybe now are convincing themselves that it's something more than it is, which is just a fun expansion.
Yeah.
I'm losing interest.
Let's move on.
Sorry, guys.
What we got
I've
next?
still got one more ODST article to write. I can't lose interest yet.
Do you really? Do you want to tease what it is?
It'll be up by the time this goes up, which is there's extra skulls. There's 3 new skulls.
Oh.
And there were 3 new skulls in the multiplayer, the Mythic Map Pack, which a lot of people probably are getting for the first time in ODST. So if you thought you had all 13 skulls, there's actually 6 more that you need, and you'll get 25 achievement points for each one.
Say what they are again.
Skulls.
All right.
What were you going for?
Yeah.
No,
all that's fascinating. Meanwhile, I've been playing the MAG multiplayer beta, so
Ooh, that's on
How
PS3.
is that anyway?
it's pretty good. I got killed constantly.
Again?
Yeah, which, by the way, we have Mac beta keys we are giving away. There's an article on Games Radar that's we've got what, 200,
We are going to give
400.
away Mag Beta keys. And you know what? We're going to give away a couple of Mag Beta keys to you guys, and I'll tell you how, and you have to go into our forums to do it. Kind of ruin everybody's experience. So listen up. No one seems to be fond of that. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm basically going to say go in the forums. The first 5 people to say meow in the TalkRadar 71 thread get a fucking beta key. Does anybody want to hear a sound effect from the days of yore?
Yes.
Maybe.
Flip over this crab on its back, and you attack its weak point for massive damage.
A man's gotta do what a man's gotta do. Seems destiny ends with me saving you. The only doom that's looming is you loving me to death. So I'll give you a second to catch your breath.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is your WWE diva and Playboy cover girl, Ashley. Go to WWE.com. Check out the revealing interviews on GameRadars.com. Check out GamesRadar.com. GamesRadar.com.
Hey folks, Chris Antista, Associate Editor of GamesRadar.com here. Just about every day I get a message from one of you guys asking me how to get a job in the games industry. Well, I'm about to tell you how I did it. GamesRadar has an intern position opening up, and we want to give one of you guys the opportunity to fill it. Have an interest or knack for writing about games? Ready those writing samples and contact our fabulous production editor, Carolyn, on the GamesRadar site via private message. Profile name GamesRadar, Carolyn Goodmanson, CarolynGudmonson. She'll hit you back with the specific details on the submission process. You must live in the San Francisco Bay Area and be a college student capable of receiving college credit. The position is unpaid, yet there's potential for possible freelance, not to mention experience you can never get anywhere else. Good luck.
Tyler Wilde here. Later in the following segment, you're going to hear a lot of bleeps, but we want to assure you that TalkRadar is not being censored. In a few minutes, I'm going to tell you a very personal story, and while all of the ridiculous details are 100% true, the specific names have been removed as a precautionary measure. With that in mind, please enjoy the rest of the show.
Hey, does anybody want to listen to the rest of this motherfucking podcast? Yeah!
All right, let's bring this pep back up.
Yes. So full of
Segment 2, another blast from the soundbite past.
My wallet was in my back pocket. He bumped me, and now it's gone.
Guile's solution for everything.
Seriously, is there anything Sonic Booms can't solve?
Sega's financial trouble.
Herpes. Oh yeah.
Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
It ain't time. It ain't about that right now. It's about modern warfare. The drink, not about the game. I know you wanted. You saw the game recently, right, Tyler?
I did, and I was so goddamn excited when
Tyler Wilde, by the way.
Hey, I'm here now. Charlie's gone.
Wow. Dude, it's the color
I
of
am
blood.
Tyler Wilde, the features and community editor at Games Radar, and I was damn excited when I got a big box from Activision because I had just gone and seen Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 to write a cover story for PTOM, and this big box comes from Activision. Oh, they already have the Prestige editions? I can't believe
it.
It's
so excited.
Yeah.
I'm going to be putting on those night vision goggles in 5. Oh, Monster Energy Drink. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like, you open, like, at least looking at Tyler Nagata, he also got one. He opened it up, and, like, the first thing we see is a press release with a Modern Warfare 2 logo.
Yes!
Oh my god! It's here! And then Monster fucking Energy Drink.
Yes, so it is a Modern Warfare 2 themed Monster Energy Drink. How exciting!
And in the grand tradition of TalkRadar, as we have done in the past, we're going to do a taste test.
Yeah, taste test from, what is it, Monster Energy Drink. Monster Assault Energy!
Read the side of it.
And this time it's even chilled and not exploded all over the table first.
Tyler is not here to talk about Modern Warfare 2, even though he does enjoy it. He gives it his full recommendation, but he is here to talk about his stupid plight as of late. I cannot wait to hear that segment. We will get to that a little later. This is Modern Warfare 2 drink. Tyler, what's the side of the can say?
I'm going to read. Okay. The next evolution in gaming is coming.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
Modern Warfare 2. If you've ever played Call of Duty, you know what we're talking about. yeah, I've played Call of Duty.
Oh man, do I ever know.
Oh man, I know. Creator Infinity Ward hooked us up with an advanced copy of MW2, and we were so
hooked up the entire Monster Energy.
That's right,
with one copy.
And we were so stoked on the game, we put it on our can. That's exactly what happened.
Stoked on the game.
We were stoked.
You know, I just want to say I'm holding this like 1.5 feet from my face, and I can smell it.
Yeah,
it's really thick.
Oh dear,
it's blood red.
It looks like fucking Dracula tonic.
There's blood red. I don't know if you can tell.
Although it fizzes like piss.
Oh my God. It looks about as thick as blood too.
So Infinity Ward sends the Monster Energy drink people a copy, and they get so stoked.
Yeah.
They just like, oh, we have a graphic designer. Let's put it on our can without like spending weeks making a deal. As Michael pointed,
that's totally how it happened.
Grab a Monster Assault and prepare to wage an all-out assault against the many faces of modern warfare.
What does that mean?
Well,
against
different
the many
soldiers.
faces of assault.
Prepare to wage war with your taste buds.
It's like that shit, like the Taliban declaring a jihad on all of their cars.
No, I mean it's just words. The many faces of what? Yeah, different soldiers have different faces.
All right. Let's taste this bullshit.
I bet it tastes like war.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Shoot them in the faces.
Thank God for the sickle cell. That's toast.
Time for a
This
sip.
is gonna make me feel much better.
That's strange.
What does that even taste like?
Tastes like
Nothing.
Diet Pepto-Bismol. God, it's fucking vile.
It feels like it's burrowing into my mouth.
It's like thicker grape soda or something.
Yeah, it's like grape soda combined with NyQuil.
That's not how we describe things here.
I can feel something burrowing through my tongue. It's not pleasant.
It's sweet. It tastes like a candy necklace.
If
you replace,
that's what it is.
If you replace the candy with the ears of the Vietnamese
and turn them back into candy. But you're exactly. That's exactly what it tastes like. It tastes exactly
Candy
like
necklace.
a candy necklace or sweet tarts.
No, but it also kind of tastes like, after you've already chewed all the candy off the candy necklace,
gargling stripper
and you're just
piss.
holding the fucking string in your mouth, and it's got that fibery taste of the string combined with the candy residue.
with the sugar sweetness brought to us by the Mars Corporation.
Tastes like being teabagged by a candy soap McTavish.
God, this fucking smell is driving me crazy.
Oh.
That's why I'm going to infuse mine with an assault.
Oh fuck yeah! Pass that shit around.
Yeah.
Hold on. It's triple distilled vanilla vodka.
Drop some
You
in.
can't possibly make it worse.
Oh man,
This is gonna make it so
this
much
is gonna
better.
taste like a Halloween enema. Yum, yum.
Pretty soon we'll talk about video games.
We will.
We
This is
will.
Video game related.
This is video game related.
That
so
is a fantastic.
We actually won't. Pretty soon we're gonna talk about.
2 years ago they did the Halo 3 Mountain Dew game fuel. So this year Monster Energy Drink wants to do a Modern Warfare bullshit.
I feel like I just made out with the zebra from Fruit Stripe Gum.
That's what I was looking for.
All I can taste now is the vanilla vodka, so I think it's a huge improvement.
It's working.
God damn it. God, that's gross. Like diet grape soda piss.
Yeah. Oh. Well, finish your piss, sweetie.
I just can't. I get visions of like licking a like a strip joint's floor.
if deer hunted us, man, and tried to attract us, this is what the liquid tastes like.
Oh, you're right.
So thank you, Activision.
Thank you, Activision.
We loved it.
I think I do want to throw up.
New releases this week. I think I dug up an appropriate sound effect somewhere. That's probably too complimentary for something like Deca Sports 2.
Currently adorning our site with lovely
beautiful game. Beautiful game to look at.
GameCenter.com. 10 new sports, $29.99. I think the whole family will love Deca Sports.
I really do.
But will a gamer? No.
Wii owners, active Wii owners should love it. Dead Space Extraction. Sorry to bash Wii owners. That's kind of cool. Everybody's liking that.
We talked about it last week. Posted a review on Friday, and I absolutely loved this game.
The way you talked about it last week made me really want to borrow your Wii and play it.
Really worth looking at that video Brett put up in the review. It
sounds great.
It's like goriest moments, but it's super intense and very personal. It sucks because you can't. 2 players doesn't work because it's too personal of a trip. But the graphics, the presentation, the shaky cam guerrilla style stuff, it's what a rail shooter, like a next gen idea of a rail shooter. It's fucking brilliant.
It sounds like a roller coaster ride.
It is a roller coaster. It currently has an 81 on Metacritic.
Oh, nice.
GamePro gave it a perfect score. And even I gave it an 8, and I'm even among the lower. The lowest is Giant Bomb, which gave it a 6.
What?
Which I think is 2.5 stars or 2 stars from
What
them.
did they say?
The pullout quote is pretty short, which is true. Well, looks like a great setup for a big finale. The game just sort of ends abruptly and poorly. I don't think that's true. I disagree. I think the ride there is so unique that tunnels aside, that you get stuck in a lot. It's super
just
violent.
Looking at it that's not even why I liked it. It was just a completely different perspective on the levels in Dead Space I already enjoyed.
It actually does flesh out a story. It does make the universe seem more important. It does everything a sequel should without going, well, there's the crappy Wii spinoff we had to get, like Soul Calibur Legends or Umbrella Chronicles or any other A-level franchise that shows up on Wii in a reduced form.
Yes.
I hope other developers learn a lesson and realize they can release sort of a less complicated game as in tandem, but it doesn't have to be worse just because it's less complicated.
I tip my fucking hat to EA for this.
Did you play it at all, Michael?
I played a little bit.
What did you think?
It's pretty awesome so far. I'm impressed by the versatility of it.
And you did like the Dead Space, right?
I did.
Dead Space.
And
I loved it.
I loved just the very first few seconds of it, which Brett had told me about in advance. But then I saw it, and it's just
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's like this guy shows up, standing there and looking exactly like Isaac, and you think you're playing Dead Space. It's like a pared down Wii version. And I controlled this guy, and then he walks away, and you look away, and it's like, it's all first person.
It was that joke that was like, okay, this is like a self-aware title. Like it knows it can't be that.
Yeah.
And that's
it's
I don't know,
really smart. I loved it.
Playing through the first level, and this might not be true for the rest of the game, but is there a reason you're apparently the only American in this mining crew?
I noticed. Well,
every other voice actor.
It's all about
British.
inclusion, man.
No, everyone has different. If you notice the 360 PS3 Dead Space, there's accents all over the place, and it's just really interesting.
Yeah, well, just in the first chapter of the game, it seems like everyone else is consistently British except for the main character.
I thought I heard Scottish and other stuff.
I'd like to see a sci-fi
where the main character sounds
Scottish
like
counts as British.
No, I'd like to see a sci-fi where everyone has intermingled on spaceships and space stations, where there's some kind of weird hybrid accent of like a Southern British, Western America's Australian accent. I want to hear someone
like
so good at accents.
Hey, when y'all gonna get on Lyft and catch me up at the
Or
lorry?
The best one I saw was in Futurama. In the future, all the Ivy League college students will talk like dudes mixed in with an Ivy League. Dude, this is it. I don't know. I thought that was really funny. Never mind.
It is
not
strange.
funny enough to tell the whole joke.
Not funny. No, it was just all the Ivy League students talk like really articulate dudes. Because that's basically what they will be in the future.
Yeah.
You will be wealthy college kids going to work at your dad's equivalent of the dealership.
Right. In space.
In space.
The space dealership. But the funny thing is that Dead Space takes place in the 26th century, which is the year like 2500 and beyond. the idea that we would still have those exact same accents
right,
is kind of
ridiculous,
humorous, but
yeah.
Whatever, that's fun. What else came out this week?
What else? Well, I think we know what else came out this week. Kingdom Hearts 358/2 over 10.
358 over 2.
358 over 2. Is that really the official way?
I heard
358 over 2.
Listening to Amanda on last week, and that's ridiculous.
Averaging a 77. We gave it a 7. The lowest score is RPG Gamer, which gave it a 4.
Yeah, like I was originally we were like, oh man, this is our exclusive, and Amanda doesn't
we
like
had the exclusive first review.
RPG Gamer gave it a. Well, they probably don't like the genre.
Amanda's review seems to mirror what everybody else is saying.
Yeah,
bad controls.
I always trust Amanda's review.
Me too. But she somehow reviews games with completely honest, and then takes a lot of flack for them.
Yeah,
she does.
She doesn't pull any.
Like back in the fourth podcast, we were like defending her Ninja Gaiden review.
Ninja
Gaiden 2 review.
And then now it's like the same game came out with no blood on PS3,
and
everyone's like, "What a great!"
That is also a new release this week.
You're
Ninja
right.
Gaiden Sigma 2.
Did
anybody play that?
No.
What's that score on Metacritic?
It's got an 87 right now.
87.
Highest being 1UP, which gave it a schwa.
A schwa.
And then, it's.
I mean, that sounds par for the course. Like, you release a new Ninja Gaiden game with that, trademark style of gameplay. Everyone's going to be like, yeah, it's still good.
It's good. It's just super difficult, and they took all the blood out for some reason, which I don't understand that move.
I mean, did they get a lower rating? Is that what they wanted?
No, it's still mature.
So what's the point?
So is it actually more difficult than on the 360? Because I played Ninja Gaiden 2, and I was not impressed by the difficulty.
Really? Well, you're just so
then
damn hardcore.
I played on the novice.
I'm not impressed, as in it wasn't that hard?
Yeah, it's just like, well, it's the fact that you can play on a lower difficulty and there's no shameful pink badge involved or anything. It's just like it's good, but it's not like insurmountable.
The first PS3 Sigma, I thought, was made deliberately easier than the original Ninja Gaiden.
Maybe.
I thought it was.
That's weird.
I thought we have a quote of them when you and I interviewed those people a long, long time ago.
That probably is true.
Those people?
Those people. Team Japan. Team Ninja. Team Ninja. Also out this week, which none of us have played. Gran Turismo PSP.
We posted that review like a couple weeks ago. Actually.
Yeah.
Did we really?
Yeah.
I think it was positive.
I gave it an 8. It's strange. It's Gran Turismo PSP, which is strange because I always associated like graphics whores with that kind of game. Like, holy crap, look how amazing it is, and you're not going to get that on PSP.
The thing they're trying to, and it looks really pretty, is that it's 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
But as a result of that, no more than 4 cars on a track at once.
Yeah.
I don't know, a little weird. I don't really care, but come on, some of that racing is about every one of those racers is taking tight turns.
Yeah.
And there needs to be more than 3 cars to weave through.
It's interesting that there's no career mode.
Really?
There's no like ongoing thing, which some people are downgrading it for, but I think as a portable game, I'm not against that.
So they're just like constant quick races.
It's I don't know if it's challenges. I don't know the actual structure, but I know
you do earn cars.
Yeah. Oh, there's a shitload of cars.
Just not through a career.
It's just not like a tour career mode that takes you through every track. I don't know, but the review's up on GamesRadar.com.
You earn the right to buy cars from certain manufacturers that you can already see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Thank you, consumerism.
No, I've never liked that series.
To
be honest,
did, but my God, we'll transition into that with some news. Better news.
Oh, Beta Raider came out this week.
Oh yeah.
Did Beta Raider come out this week?
It did.
There's 2 reviews, us and IGN.
What did we give it?
We both gave it an 8.
Yep.
It's really intense.
Right. It's a good music fiddling software, but like MTV Music Generator from 10 years ago, it's not as good as a studio software, and it's better than Mario Paint.
The thing
so
is,
you're like in between those two.
Right.
It's a good product, but it seems to be like a total non-starter for our readers. Like anything we publish about Beta Raider has gotten almost no attention.
I never really get those because it's like, to me, if I want to be an artist, I want to make some music, I want the high-end good software.
Yeah, but
to
I
make
mean, not
proper.
everyone can afford the good.
And not everyone can afford that, and I can't either. So I simply don't. But
I guess part of the appeal of Beta Raider is that it has it's partly a game, or at least a toy, and that you've got the live play mode where you can just sort of adjust these 8 tracks on the fly with 4 different instruments per track, and
then it gets ridiculous. And that's what I thought was really cool about it. So what I wanted to do, I don't have a copy. We should crack this open. I want to make a TalkRadar remix, and then I can upload my remix files onto the Rockstar Social Club and let one of you guys take it and make it better.
That would be cool.
And read it on your PSP.
Assuming any of our listeners buy Beaterator.
But some of our readers are very, 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 very good with music.
That's true.
Suburbia Ruins comes to mind. Whatever the hell David the Bowie has to make those weird-ass clips for us.
Yeah.
Amazing.
If you're great with music, I want you right now to capture a few clips of what I'm about to say and make us a remix of it.
All right, let's make sure we isolate this.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Red alert. Chris is Italian.
That too.
Yeah, that too. Come on, we need some more for this remix.
Chris Antista smells like pizza.
No.
You got him.
God, Christ.
Don't put hot sauce on your penis.
We're pointing people back to the Brett button. Just throw that in there.
Yeah. I want to hear remixes of this.
The robot elephant throwing
ASAP.
balls at you.
Death to the Irish.
Sure.
I take offense to
Nobody
that.
likes the
Irish.
We went to an Irish pub just the other day.
I know,
we
it sounded
did.
wonderful.
That's fucking awful music. God damn.
It's so
when does
fun.
it end?
It is not. It's like drunk jazz that you can't possibly dance to, so Irish people have an excuse not to fight one another.
The food was fucking ridiculously delicious.
No, it wasn't. I got a bunch of fucking potato wedges
You
covered in
hate
cheese.
everything.
Yeah.
Boo-hoo.
Wait a minute. I am not a mirror. Sorry, Elsa.
We should move on,
Dude,
shouldn't we?
I Am Not a Mirror is the breakdown point where all the music fades away. I am not a mirror. Comes back up. There you go.
This is a good episode.
Make it. I want to
This
hear
is a
it.
good episode.
This one will be
already.
remembered for being the third worst.
Only third. Wow.
Oh.
We're getting
Which
ambitious
I think
now.
goes 10, 69, 71.
Well,
That's
I
right.
think it's because you won't let me transition into my newsiness.
Let's do news.
Remember, we were talking about Gran Turismo PSP.
I goddamn
That's right.
dare you.
Gran
to tell me.
Turismo PSP.
Right.
I dare you to find
Gran
relevant.
Turismo PSP?
Leaked Sega artwork reveals a new game.
Oh.
Huh?
Sega's making a game?
No.
A resurrection of an old Sega title that we have not seen in some time.
Is it
This goes by the title of Sega Racing Classic,
Sega Rally?
but looks very clearly
They
to
already
be...
made a recent Sega Rally.
Yeah, it's Daytona.
Yeah!
Yeah. Oh man, my wife beater's going on.
Let's go. Man,
What's weird to think about is that maybe they lost the rights to Daytona.
maybe they did.
I mean, if you think about it, if I made a racing game, I'd want it to be the Daytona 500. I'd have to
Right.
pay for that shit.
That is like the anthem to Walmart everywhere. Like, every Walmart in the Midwest has Daytona to this day, still sitting in the lobby when you walk in, and it's just there.
That is true.
I beat my wife to that song, man.
If you're on my
Memories.
Twitter, twitter.com/Cientista, I was at an old animatronic museum.
It was
Is
bizarre.
that the Musée Mécanique?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
It's
Love that
fucking
place.
crazy.
This is great.
And basically what they had, like right next to there were like 3 machines where you could put a quarter in and watch a drunk robot laugh from the 1920s. And right next to that, so I'm thinking just in terms of irrelevance.
Right.
What's the
Cruisin'
really creepy
USA,
robot's name?
Cruisin' Exotica, Cruisin' World. What's
God.
up?
What's the really creepy robot's name? It's like Big Sally or something.
Big
like that.
Sally.
Oh, yeah.
I got a picture of her laugh. It's really bizarre. You just put a quarter in and she laughs. And
That
she's-
is a San Francisco landmark. Is that
Yes.
is that at Fisherman's Wharf now?
It is
Yeah.
a Fisherman's
Used to
Wharf.
be at the Cliff
when it
House,
was
right?
I went to
Yeah.
it when it was at the Cliff House.
I was
and
trying to
they-
explain to Chris what the
shut
Cliff
it
House
down.
was, but it just sounded stupid. I'm like, it's a house on a cliff. It's really
Is that
famous.
still there? I thought it
It's
came
still
into some
there.
disaster recently.
It's still there. They were just renovating it.
There
and
was
they
a
moved all
fire
the
or something.
arcade. But
Moved
yeah,
all the cool robots out.
San Francisco landmark.
I don't
It's a
care
house on
anymore.
a cliff.
Hey, listener in
It's right
Arkansas,
next to
you
the
give a
ruins
shit.
of the Sutro Baths.
Yeah,
Oh, Brett, devil's advocate always.
Yeah, I gotta.
You'll never
And
come.
Are you saying that our Midwestern listeners are devils?
That's right, Mississippi
White
listeners.
devils.
You'll never come to Homo Town. We understand
Yeah.
that. You won't visit us and get your free stickers and shirts.
Yeah, you gotta do is walk in the door and we'll give you everything we have.
Like Ted Diddleo and Web Slinger. And
Yeah,
who else came
You
by?
be careful, dude. We're gonna
That's
have
it.
like a storm of people. Coming.
oh,
We're
fuck,
so out
my
of the
tea
way.
bag fell in my tea.
Oh, I can't
Oh,
make a
that's
joke
a
out of that.
You teabag your tea.
Did I just teabag
I don't know.
myself?
Your
I'll accept it.
odious tea.
I'll accept it. That's a combo breaker. We're digging up old sound effects.
All right.
Good.
You know what else is news?
I'm going to do into something that I was trying to transition to from Gran Turismo to Daytona USA
Right.
to Another racing game that's out right now, Forza. I've been playing a lot of the new racing games. Dirt 2, fucking awesome. Need for Speed Shift, still like my favorite.
Right.
I'm doing a review of Forza 3. I didn't know this, and maybe this isn't news to the people who are anticipating Forza, that Forza has a second disc for the 360 that requires an install. Here is what they told me.
Welcome to Forza Motorsport 3.
Ooh, there it is, to prove that I played it. Here's what...
Disc 2 includes additional cars, tracks, and environments.
And again, I don't have...
So basically it's like a disc of DLC.
I don't have a lot of Xbox Live Arcade games. I have less than 10. And I had the Shadow, and I was like, I can't play... I want to play this right now. I don't want to install... It's 1.9 gigabytes. 2 gigabytes. I don't know how many people have 2 gigabytes of fucking data on their game.
Yeah.
I have Rock Band songs and like under
a lot
10.
to ask.
And I'm like, I don't want to delete the Shadow Complex demo because I'm about to buy it and play it.
There's no option to just play it off the disc?
For the full Forza Motorsport experience, we recommend that you install the
That was
contents.
after I said no. I'd like to just keep playing.
I don't know. I mean,
For the full Forza Motorsport experience.
Are you sure?
I don't know. A British man's telling you to do it, so you're kind of better.
You're kind of conditioned to that now.
Working for a British company
how
and all.
get your money.
And the game's really good. That's like writing the review is kind of hard because the game's
Christ, it's
pretty
beautiful.
phenomenal.
Like watching you play it, I'm like, God, there's not a jaggy in sight. Like the
And we're doing
reflections,
the
it's
super
beautiful.
review, trying to be entertaining, and the only thing I can feel to do is complain about the small things.
Yeah.
And part of it is I don't have any games installed on my hard drive that come on a disc. Never done that before. A single track in Forza 3 takes over a minute to load.
Wow.
Over a minute to load with it with 2 gigs of data installed on my on
That's
my
with
hard
it
drive.
installed?
And
Yeah.
I watched you like restart a race. It took about 30 seconds.
Took about
to get,
30 seconds.
to get from restarting to.
But they got that
driving.
rewind thing, which you don't. It's not just I crashed, restart. That is fucking over.
Yeah, that's totally over.
It's so over, so beautifully over.
Because I think when they make racing games now, they know that most of us are like, if I screw up once, I'm restarting this race.
I know
it has to be a perfect run, or I won't accept it. So.
Everybody has played a Gran Turismo by now, and I think that's kind of it. Because Gran Turismo, it's not like the system justifier anymore. Like, this is beautiful.
Yeah,
it can only be
it
done on my
used to be.
PlayStation. Like, yeah, but is it that fun? And do you really plan on doing that much with it?
God, remember when Gran Turismo like it looked terrible, but it was like, oh my god!
It wasn't like while you were racing. After you completed the race and watched yourself go around,
Yeah,
it was like it was
I
breathtaking.
can pick the gauge of wrench with which I attach my name brand tires.
But it
I know what kind of tires I own.
That shit is boring.
It was breathtaking,
and kept to it. Like, you can go as deep as you want in Forza. You can go as light as you. There's a quick upgrade. I think you'll be like 2 points out of 50 off what you would be if you sat there and manually tweaked everything.
If you keep talking,
Quick
we're
upgrade.
seriously going to get in trouble.
Too true. I'll never be able to review another Forza game. I don't know what else Turn 10 makes.
That's how it works, right?
Ooh! More news. Wait, we'll get more news. No UMDs on PSP Go.
Yeah, that
Right.
fucking sucks.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm just
thought
going to
that was-
say that right now. As somebody who was looking at buying a PSP Go,
Yeah.
I'd say that I'm not going to bother with it until the price drops seriously, because it's $250 for something that has less functionality than what I already have and does not play the same games.
Is that the same price as the PS3 Slim?
Well, no, the PS3 Slim is $299.
Okay.
It's $250.
But it's $50 cheaper than a PS3
That's
Slim.
ridiculous.
And
such-
it's for hardware that's 2 years older.
It's such a completely nonsensical device to exist. I don't get it at all.
I don't get it. I have an old, shitty style PSP, but like I haven't touched it in years.
Well, here's the thing.
Why am I going to buy this?
The appeal for me is, number one, UMD load times are a pain in the ass.
Yes.
Right.
And number two, I like the idea of just having a compact device that I don't have to lug around a bunch of UMDs
Yes.
for.
No, it's a great
Just
idea.
every time I travel. And
I
that
love
I can
that.
have like 4 or 5 games loaded on
They
it
just
at any
didn't
given
come
time.
through on any of those
No.
ideas.
But, you know, it's like now all those UMDs are useless if I try to upgrade. And I remember at E3, Sony's solution for this was to say, oh, well, you know, we still sell the PSP 3000 if you want to use your UMDs. It's like, well, that's
what are
great.
you talking about?
There's no reason for me to buy the Go.
This is your universal media disc.
Yeah.
That nothing else can use.
And when the PSP came out...
Now, literally, not even Sony's own machine uses their universal media. What the fuck?
When the PSP came out, I wanted it to be the only thing other than my cell phone that I carried on. I wanted it to be the best MP3 player, the best video player, the best game. I was so excited.
When was the last time you listened to an MP3 on your PSP?
It's
never.
It's a massive headache. Because last time I went to Japan, I was like, I want to take some movies with me.
Yeah.
Impossible. Gave up. Didn't take any.
I know. It's I wanted it to be. I wanted it to be the one device I could have on me, listen to all my music, and I ended up buying an iPod even after having a PSP because I was like, this is shit. I'm just going to get an iPod.
It's terrible for that. You have to bend too many rules and dick around with it too much. I want to transfer a file over, and that's it.
Part of that is I wanted to play. It's a beautiful control pad. I'd like to play the games I want unrestricted, and I can't emulate anything.
Great.
Well, I can't emulate anything.
Well, that's another thing.
Like, well, why are you blocking me from playing Nintendo stuff? It's not like they're going to license it to you.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, that was kind of a weird thing that when it first came out, I remember it's like, well, there aren't very many games out for it that I want to play. I mean, the games that are there are good, but then it's like, oh wow, it can run emulators.
All my friends hacked it,
and playing Wizards and Warriors and stuff illegally, of course, but. Yeah, and then the firmware updates just started tearing that stuff out, and it's just like I remember Penny Arcade was complaining, it's like, why are you tearing out this functionality?
Yeah,
you could have a community built around just this.
Like no one's going to sue you over it.
They don't seem interested in building a community. They seem in making it their way or no way at all.
Well, it's a brand. That's what they're interested in, building the brand.
Because it looks like if Dreamcast games and PS2 games start to become available, I have a feeling that's what they want to start selling the PSP on. This is where you can play your PS2 games, PS3 games.
Yeah. I want to make it clear. It's like we're not trying to be down on Sony here necessarily, and it's not that we hate the PSP or that we have anything against it, but it's just like this is a fantastic piece of hardware that has just been crippled over the last 5 years by mismanagement and complete lack of knowledge as to
heard
what should we make for this? Well, let's make a shooter.
In fairness to them, I really, really like the idea of the PS3 Go, like a cartridgeless, portable system where I could pay for moderately priced games. And I even sat down for like an hour and tried to think about a solution to put UMDs on a PSP without losing money, and it's absolutely. I couldn't even come up with.
I know that's why they shouldn't have even made the thing.
Well,
There's no. If I already own one, they're literally trying to sell it now to everyone who doesn't have one.
In a way, they had to kind of start fresh.
They should have with a new machine.
Yeah, with two thumbsticks.
2 sticks, a little bit stronger hardware. Like, what's the point of releasing a new piece of hardware this late? Like, PSP came out in 2005. It's almost 5 years old.
This is in fairness to Sony and also a slam. What PSP games would you buy if you bought a PSP Go? What you feel like you'd be missing out on on PSP?
But would I buy again? Nothing.
Nothing.
I wouldn't buy because I already paid $40.
No, but what would you buy? Like what classic PSP game do you need that's only available on UMD?
Has the phrase "classic PSP"?
I think they were in a position. They were in a position to do that because they don't have any PSP games that are.
There are tons of great games, but I've already bought them.
Yeah,
like what?
I love Disgaea on PSP. God of War is really good.
Yeah.
Wipeout, Ridge Racer,
Tekken Dark Resurrection.
Wipeout, all that shit available through download and you can put on your PSP.
Not everything I just said is
Wipeout, Tekken. I guarantee Disgaea. I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. Like most of their PSP games will be available through download eventually.
Beta Raiders being released more or less simultaneously.
Chinatown Wars is simultaneous as well.
Yeah, so
I heard that a little bird told me that even like Sony US was really resistant to the thing even coming out because they're like, we don't know what to do with this, like how to push it. It's really difficult, and it was just kind of decided. It's coming out, even though people even inside Sony were like, not sure this is a great idea.
That is a really good point because it was like you don't have a solution yet. Either say yes or no.
Yeah, don't say we're looking at it and then say we don't have one. Like you should have just said from the beginning, no, it won't. Or maybe don't make this system. That's the exact same thing that plays the same games but actually doesn't play the same games.
Tons of PSP owners, and there's not really anything exclusive to that system.
No.
There's a lot that is.
Yeah, there is, but it's
like
just
what?
not that exciting.
There's a couple of Square games.
Hey, there's
even the
Metal
stuff.
Gear
Even
stuff.
Sony's first party shit. They port to PS2.
But even the stuff that's ported to PS2 is generally not worth playing on PS2, to be honest.
Really?
Because it's,
Never bothered.
They don't really do much to optimize it for the PS2. It's always kind of like a straight port, and it like GTA Vice City Stories, fantastic on PSP. Plays like doesn't play like shit on PS2. Looks like shit on.
Looks
PS2.
like shit on PS2. But I thought that game, as much as I like a good GTA game, that's not a portable game. A GTA game is not for me a portable game.
How so?
You didn't
drive
like
to
Chinatown
here,
Wars?
talk
You
to this
love
person,
Chinatown
drive
Wars.
here. I love every GTA.
That's fun no matter where you are.
It's not fun no matter where you. But there's certain things about portable play where I can't control when I stop and start. And
I couldn't.
GTA was just pretty much.
true.
It was a PS2 game. Like I had to start over a lot.
I still maintain the worst experience I had on a PSP was the Godfather Mob Wars.
What happened?
Which is because it's basically the Godfather game, but they tear out all the driving bits and replace it with like a Risk game. But the worst thing is that the cutscenes are unskippable, and if you for some reason have to stop playing in the middle of them and you put your PSP to sleep, when you start it up, they'll start over from the beginning.
Ew!
Yeah,
That's terrible.
At least you should be able to open up a separate window where you can surf the internet while that happens.
In Sony's defense, PS3 Slim, good move, still selling.
No, fantastic move.
Absolutely great. I'm
I keep
almost
hearing
about
from
to buy
people
one.
who are buying them.
I'm going to buy one, probably. I want a
the
Blu-ray
PSP
player.
Go would be a very attractive solution.
Right.
It'd be a very attractive thing if I didn't already own a PSP and several dozen games.
Yeah.
I think I have a feeling
now it's like
PS3 Slim, as they call it, has no more backwards compatibility. I have a feeling
That's
that all
stupid.
is going to go into your PSP.
All the
For a
You
price.
think it's going to pay
For a price.
Like
all
there's
the
a
PS2?
No, he's saying there's a
backwards
reason they're getting rid of backwards compatibility, so they can now sell you all those PS2 games on your PSP.
Which is
'Cause
kind
if
of...
I can, if I can play Dragon Quest VIII on my PS2, if it was backwards compatible on a PS3, I'll just play it on my PS3. But if it's not backwards compatible, then I have to buy Dragon Quest VIII or Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy whatever.
Yeah.
They're just going to make them all. Well, what if you buy them
Your
for
PSP
$5
is your
or
new
$8?
backwards compatibility. That's
Yeah.
small market
No,
they can make money off of.
The size of the PS3 Slim
I think
has
you're losing
nothing
too much,
to do.
You're losing too much
with backwards
functionality.
compatibility.
You think so?
It's missing 2 shoulder buttons and another analog stick.
It is. I just
They'd
think
have
there's not
to
a lot of games that require both shoulder buttons.
Right, but they're also going to do that with Dreamcast, it seems. Dreamcast only had one stick.
Yeah, like if you look at it in terms of the Dreamcast, the PSP is a fantastic machine. It's like a handheld Dreamcast.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's my really
really is.
big argument. Is they really need to get a hold of themselves when it comes to the pricing of stuff.
Yeah.
Calm the fuck down. It is not worth $5 less than the day it came out 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Calm down, PlayStation.
Yeah.
But you said you downloaded a game this weekend. Took like an hour.
Yeah, I downloaded. I'm reviewing Chinatown Wars for PTOM actually, and
they gave you a download code.
and I got a download code.
Mine didn't work.
Mine worked, but I had to do the same. Like, guess what? Need a firmware update. Oh, battery's dead. Got to charge the battery till it can download the firmware. Downloading the firmware took 20 minutes. Installing the firmware took 5 minutes. Then I get to go download the thing from the PlayStation Store. That took 30 minutes. Then it has to install the software that I just downloaded for another 20 minutes. It's like, that's an hour and a half that I was not playing a game. I was waiting and clicking boxes so that I could then go play the game.
They got
so fucking
sorted out.
boring and terrible infrastructure.
But using our brand new transition button.
Powered by Namco, it's Ridge Racer.
Whoa.
I gotta pick another one.
Say hello to Ambassador Blanca.
Now that's a transition.
This is totally relates,
I was gonna
and
say.
should make you more mad, but you won't care. You won't personally care. DSiWare games are completely non-transferable.
Right.
If I bought a new DSi tomorrow, I would never be able to move that game on with my account to my new DSi. If this DSi, if my DSi breaks, I get no.
It's over.
It's over. That game is done. Which is kind of worse.
That's probably why I'll just never buy DSi.
Pretty shitty.
It's probably Mario Calculator is screaming out for you.
Oh boy.
But I mean, like
just anything where there's a potential that I will lose all the money and time, I won't even dip into at all. So like until they fix and address that kind of problem.
If you're going to require me to lose more time and money,
yeah. Excuse me if I sound ignorant, but if your 360 breaks beyond repair...
You ignorant fuck.
If your 360 breaks beyond repair, you buy a new one, log in with your live account. Can you re-download all the games you already own? Yeah? You're good? Okay. So it's like Steam, where it's just like, once you own it, you own it.
It used to be a massive headache to do that, and they once told me, oh no, you'll have to pay for it again. And I yelled at them until I talked to the manager. And then they're like, well, no, actually, we can fix that pretty easy. And since then, it's become standard procedure.
That's fair. That's one of the reasons.
Even the Wii does that.
Yeah,
it's a lifetime contract.
Yeah,
yeah. Because I own Half-Life 2 for life because I bought it years ago. No matter what new computer I have, I just log in and download it. It's great.
I figured you'd use the Ambassador Blanca sound effect to segue into Super Street Fighter 2 being announced.
Justice.
Who would have thought
Super Street Fighter
all those years ago that we would be saying now Super Street Fighter 2 was announced?
Super Street Fighter 4.
Yeah,
okay.
You'll forgive me for saying the game that's been out for 20 years already.
Yeah. I am, but what's everybody think about Super Street Fighter 4?
What's up?
What's everybody think about the announcement?
I think it's ridiculous.
I think it's completely expected, but the plus here is that even though this is an age of DLC where this could come as like a big update,
right?
Remember, they already charged us $50 a pop for every game already. Street Fighter 2, Champion, Turbo, Super, Super Turbo, Alpha, Alpha 2, Alpha 3. Incremental updates is what those were. But this case, it is not going to be a full-price game. It's going to be a disc. It's going to have a bunch of new characters and a bunch of tweaks that will make, because of the relationships of each character to each character, the whole game... On the deep level, on like the tournament level, whole game's about to get shaken out.
It's the equivalent of Virtua Fighter Evolution.
I don't know.
Was that one of the Virtua Fighters? They came out with like a greatest hits and all these enhancements, and they sold it for like $19.99.
I think it's funny because it's Capcom doing a parody of Capcom. Like Super Street Fighter 2 was something that was made fun of because it's like, they didn't finish the game.
That's why I feel like
they just released it, and then like later they were like, oh wait, let's fix it with Super Street Fighter 2.
Super was the first one that actually was a major difference.
I feel like I should get mad, but I was so like, oh my god, Super Street Fighter at the time, Jesus Christ, that was the last thing I think I bought. Every magazine that had that on the cover.
Yeah, that was the last Street Fighter that made a huge impact.
Right, but everyone knows Street Fighter 2 was just unfinished, and they had to go attack it. And
I don't think
it wasn't unfinished. Like, those are different games. You go to tournaments today, and there'll be people playing those different games.
Yeah, the thing is, the difference is Capcom was not shy about incremental updates. Even in the arcade, they'd swap out like one motherboard. And now it's
but that's become a joke now. Like,
well, it has now.
But
it was then too.
Yeah,
like there was the whole thing about Capcom can't count to 3.
Right. But meanwhile, everyone was playing them every day in the arcade. So
I'm not saying they're not great.
I would complain, but I learned all of them. I came to love all of them. And then Street Fighter 3 hit, and I haven't played it more than 4 seconds in my entire life.
That was the problem. Is they kind of killed it. They killed.
You think that was why they killed it, or like?
Well, they made 3, and 3 was super technical and detailed, and they got rid of all the characters but 2 that everyone knew. So 3 was a huge stepping stone, and no one made the leap but like the super dedicated.
New boring characters.
Yeah,
and then Second Impact, more boring characters plus Akuma. And Third Strike is like, fine, we'll give you Chun-Li, a bunch of crybabies. God, we hate you.
But then they take literally almost 10 years off, and then they give us 4, which is
great,
so good. And that's why Super Street Fighter 4, I think...
Are we going to be talking about that more next week?
Potentially, I don't know.
Potentially.
Yeah. He's out of the country till Monday, so I won't know till Monday if he's coming on or not. But the most interesting note, first Korean character in Street Fighter.
That's right, it is.
No, it's true.
Jury.
And, God, there was something else I was going to say about
T-Hawk and DJ.
T-Hawk and DJ.
Is he South Korean, or is he one of those North Korean commies?
She's South Korean.
Because they decided that is one of the biggest game markets who's never had a Street Fighter character.
No, it's true.
Ever.
No, it's totally fair.
And North Korea, they don't play games.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure
the lights have to be out at 8 o'clock.
The other thing that does suck and does piss me off, and Capcom already did this with Lost Planet Colonies. The 2 games do not talk to each other online. Super 4 will not talk to 4.
Really?
They'll be 2 different things. It'll have its own achievements, its own online leaderboards. I know that does suck.
I thought that the battle points were somehow going to be transferable.
Maybe they are, but I don't think so. I think they're 2 completely different releases. Which is only strange because of the time we're in. But when I think of Street Fighter, that doesn't seem strange to me.
It does, but come on, a lot of things have changed.
You know,
Whatever.
it has.
It's like, what, can I bring my stupid fucking Sakura outfit into fucking Super Street Fighter 4? I just use fuck a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a little drinky.
It'll be next year.
You know, I did say this is a renovation podcast. We're still trying to have fun. I think we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Do you want to go into Tyler's stories in the next segment?
No, let's do it now.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Do it now?
Tyler, you were supposed to be on last week.
Yeah, I couldn't.
What happened?
What happened last week, I had to go look at a new place.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't talk about my personal life a whole lot on the podcast because up until now, not a lot has happened. And I'm not quite as talkative as Mr. Italiantista over there.
Hey, it's endearing, right? Everybody likes me.
But now, oh, so much. But I will say.
Say it.
Other than I won't talk about it too much. But I was in a relationship, for a long time.
How long?
I was engaged. A good 5-6 years.
Wow.
Engaged.
And we were engaged.
You don't have a Picard?
You were. What was your relationship?
I was engaged.
Engage.
Oh, comedy.
Duh. So, and now I'm not. And if I continue to discuss it, it'll be like a phone call to Fraser Crane. So, and Kelsey Grammer couldn't come on, unfortunately.
Hey, you're calling Loveline.
Oh, no. Not Loveline. God, I hate that show. Anyway. So, that's all I'll say about that. But the point is I needed to find a new place.
Why? Was my place not good enough for you?
I know. I got to say, Chris, Brett, and Tyler Nagata have all been... and even Michael offered his place. All very hospitable, and they're great friends. I appreciate it. The sex was terrible, so I can't stay at their places anymore.
Oh, you're breaking my heart.
That's not how I remember it.
This is how I remember it. That doesn't make much sense.
Dude, when I was done, I was done. What do you want? Yeah. We're both done. Let's go. What do you want to do now?
I'll be quiet. I just want to man the sound effects for it. But you had
should
to
just be
you had to look for a place, like while having no place to stay.
Yeah, no place to stay. I'm sleeping on couches. Like I said, Chris, Brett, Tyler Nagata. Thank you. So I need to find a place fast. So naturally, I go to Craigslist because that is it now.
He's got the list, man.
There's no such thing as another place to look for a place to live. It's Craigslist or nothing. So
that's how I found this job. That's how I found.
So
apartments.
I found this job on Craigslist too.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But everyone knows that Craigslist can lead to disastrous experiences, and I did find a place eventually. I'm in there now. It's great. It's weird being single. Like last night, I just decided to start exercising out of nowhere. I'm just like,
I've done that.
I'm going to do some push-ups right now. I'm going to do some sit-ups, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to get in shape. And
when I moved out here, I was suddenly single, and I'm like, I'm going to work out every day.
I'm going to work out. I've never had the urge.
Man. We could have spotted one another.
Yeah, man.
I've awesome.
Never had the urge to work out before. Suddenly, I'm like, I'm working out. 5 minutes later, I'm like gasping and grasping a pack of cigarettes.
I was going to ask you today. Like, I thought you looked a little rip. I was going to ask you if you did a leg press or something.
Yeah, I did a couple presses.
That's nice.
With a cardboard box, an empty one.
But then your search for an apartment turned afoul.
It did turn afoul. I found this place that looked great at the time because it was right next to Chris's place. So
cheap sex anytime.
Cheap sex anytime. Well, no, I was thinking
tranny sex.
This was going to be my
cheapened. Let's just say.
This was going to be like my elementary school fantasy of what adult life was. I'm going to live right next to my bestest friend, and we're going to play video games. We're going to eat pizza every night. It's going to be so cool. And that's not what this place turned out to be. Because
what were they offering? What was
Here's the ad. And this sounded cool to me at the time. It's home of ensemble.
Excuse me?
Which sounds really cool.
Sounds like a robot parade.
It sounds awesome.
It sounds nightmarishly cluttered.
You're going back. Well, I'll get to
Bringing
that.
it back down.
I will get to that. But going back to my elementary school.
Right.
I'm going to live with robots when I'm an adult. It'll be the future.
The year 2009, I'll have my own robots.
So, and then after that, it just gets normal. Has a small sleeping space available, perfect for a performer or someone interested in the arts. I'm interested in the arts.
You are in the arts, motherfucker.
Shared kitchen and bathroom. We are conveniently located less than 2 blocks from Civic Center BART and many bus lines. They start talking about the transportation they're located near. It sounds pretty normal.
Right.
I emailed them. He is the guy in charge.
Ooh. You saying his name? Should you do that?
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Whatever. He's an artist.
He's the man in charge. He's the artist. And oh fuck, I was in for a shitstorm of crazy.
Right.
So I get there, like 7 o'clock or so after work. Like I'm gonna see the place. I set up an interview. You can't see the air quotes, but an interview with this guy to get the place. And I'm outside, so I call. And then I hear, like, as I'm calling inside, I hear the guy who picks up the phone, like this. Sounded young, maybe like 19, 20-year-old guy, just like...
The greater good.
Just sounding so, like, timid and just like, hello? Just being the name of the place.
God.
Oh, stupid. So I'm here to meet to see the place. Okay, I'll let him know. And then I just hear from inside, some guy named Tyler is here, I don't know. And the door opens.
Let him in.
Yeah, the door opens.
Wizard of Oz?
Like that, and here's the ringmaster.
He's like, welcome to the sex cave.
Welcome.
I mean,
me in. And I thought, like, all right, I knew this place was going to be a little weird, but like I can handle tattoos and piercings. Like I'm not a child. I've lived in San Francisco. I'm not, But I come in. I'm like, okay, so this is going to be a little weird. I'm prepared. I go in, and it's just like the dingiest shithole on the planet. It smelled.
Artists living in a shithole. What a shock!
Did you realize you were going into what you were going into?
No. I mean, I thought like, here's a quirky artist guy with his quirky theater, and they have a sleeping space, which I assumed meant some kind of small room.
Right.
Which probably means a futon in the corner of the kitchen.
Not even a futon. Not even in the kitchen.
A straw mat.
Nothing. This place was the dingiest, darkest, shittiest theater that it smelled toxic in there, like someone was mixing paint thinner with shit.
They probably were. It's probably performance art.
Yeah, it
so it starts looking a lot more like
it's looking
like this is for my new installation. It's called Shit Thinner.
If you can imagine Gallagher performing, but instead of watermelons, he used shit and BO.
Yes, that is what it was like.
Sperm.
So this place.
Here you go, kids.
Immediately,
you've just described 90% of modern performance art.
Immediately, I walk in and I'm uncomfortable, and then Mr. Ringleader just gets distracted and wanders off. I'm just stranded, standing, and there's like these eyes peering at me out of the darkness. Like,
that's what I couldn't believe, that he conducted all this in front of his...
there were like 6 people living there. These kids,
but they're all
probably
listening
20.
to this. Like,
they are all in just under his spell.
One of us.
They were all in love with this.
Make a Hot Fuzz reference again if nobody gets.
So I'm in there. Someone tells me go on the stage, if you could call it that, because I call it a raised platform at that point because it was not a stage. Look at the art. I look at the art. He's got some paintings that I saw on his website he made in 1985 or something, and he's still. These paintings were. I will never claim to be a great painter or better than this guy or anything, but I have the basic intelligence required to criticize shitty art. And
you're like an art major. Yes, you do.
Yes, these metaphors dripped off them in red and black paint. Like, if you couldn't already tell, like, capitalism is evil, man,
right.
Communism. He had also scrawled, like, phrases across the top in red paint. Let's see, one of them which read, when preachers talk apocalypse, they lie. The poor see hell on earth before they die. Wow, you're deep, I guess. You contrived.
If you want to write a poem or make a painting, you should pick one.
Yeah, no, it was just like the metaphors were like, look at all these people looking miserable. That's capitalism.
But then after you notice like this guy's clearly weird, doesn't he eventually approach you?
Yeah, eventually he decides to, like, he's going to have an interview with me, see if I want to be there.
Yes, this is happening.
Yeah, and
doesn't it blow your mind?
Yeah, That's basically...
I basically picture Vigo walking out of a painting and talking to you.
Yes.
From Ghostbusters
That is
2.
His interview with me was just like him talking about how great he is, and like at one point,
imagine him as Jim Broadbent in Moulin Rouge, with the ringmaster's outfit.
Yeah,
and
he's
everything.
man. At one point, he just grabs like one of those keychain like soundboards with the little white buttons, and they make sound effects,
Right.
and starts just like jamming this techno tune on it as if he's improvising it, but he looks like he practiced.
It sounds like Nathan Barley or something.
And then like one of his little like kids who lives there.
I cannot create art. I cannot not create art.
And then one of those kids starts like bobbing his head like, "Oh, this guy's a genius." I'm just like, "You realize you're Simpson parody characters that like come on for one episode to make fun of people like you?" Oh my God! He's telling me about like how oh man, a man's got to get a lot of fellatio, and like I'm like, yes, I know you get a lot of fellatio in your little king
Wait,
cult.
what?
He's talking about fellatio. I ask him like, all right.
So what I'm saying is, if you live here, there's going to be a lot of fellatio.
Yeah, basically, and I'm like,
and you're not going to be on the receiving end.
All I'm saying is there's a room for rent, but there's always a vacancy in your mouth.
I already know I'm not
I
going to
let
live
you
there.
stay here, you let me stay there.
There's all these kids here. I'm not going to stay here, but I'm like, well, would I be able to like prorate the rent, maybe stay for a week until October for
I can't believe you'd even be seriously considering anything but leaving at that point.
I was kind of being polite.
He had been on my couch for like a month or sorry, 2 weeks.
I was being polite to him and polite to Chris, thinking like, well, I guess I could just fucking sleep somewhere. I'll be at work or whatever, or drinking.
Right.
I'll just be here to sleep. It's fine. And then he basically tells me like, well, I need a new synthesizer. I need a new synthesizer.
I don't have enough. You gotta buy it for me.
I don't have enough. So, just till the end of the month, that won't do. That won't do at all. You've got to stay, maybe $400.
Did he actually use those words?
He also laughed like that.
This is how he talked. This is roughly how he talked. I'm doing my best impression. $400 and you can stay till the end of October, but when you need a new synthesizer with more processing power, that's all you can think about. And so I'm like, okay, you're insane. But
wow, this is how we must look to non-gamers.
Oh God, it was creepy and weird, and all the talk of fellatio.
He just sounds like he was a guy like cast to play the part of this guy, not the actual guy.
Exactly, that's who he was, and it's just like, and he's asking me questions. I'm making up bullshit answers because I want to see how much. He asked me like, "Who's your favorite artist and writer?" And I'm like, I'm going to see if this guy cares who I am or just wants my money.
Right.
I like Hemingway. Right.
Right.
Cool. We love you. You seem great. Like, no, you don't love. Anyone who says Hemingway is their favorite writer is a douchebag. Everyone knows that. You don't give a shit what I like.
Or they're extremely depressing.
Yes. You just want my money. So I tell him, like, well, I'm not going to stay, but I don't want to, like, start anything at that point. So I'm just like, how about I think it over and give you a call tomorrow?
Don't.
And he just looks down the hallway and says, why would I mind if Tyler gave me a call tomorrow? And I know I'm doing Jack Nicholson.
I was going to say, that's the joke. That's Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Jack Nicholson's Joker.
I can't reiterate enough that he came
this is very
back to
real.
the office immediately at 8 in the morning, like, kind of freaked out. Exactly the same way.
I'm repeating what I said to Chris right after it happened. This is all real. He yells that down the hall to one of his little disciples, and the kid's like, because he won't ever call. And Frank's like,
wow,
Frank's like, that's right. Nobody who leaves calls back.
And just right then you expect the lights to get dim. Right.
And now we need your blood. And then the techno music starts and Blade kills you all.
Now he's like,
welcome to the circus de vampire.
But I'm not pressuring you. Take all the time.
We're going to need a deposit. And he punks you with
that. Tells me, but if you call, remind us who you are, because we'll forget who you are right after you leave. And then he starts telling me that, but what if I am the key to his plans, and if I don't come back, then his communist agenda won't make it, and the world will be destroyed by the evils of capitalism, and I could be responsible for the destruction of the world if I don't come back. Ha ha ha. Yeah, so now I'm getting even more nervous and just uncomfortable. And then finally, like,
what if he comes after you?
I'm watching these girls, these young girls, living in the squalor.
Right.
Living, like, they have sheets dividing their little living areas in this dusty, toxic-smelling little theater.
You could be part of that.
I'm seeing all this, like, exploitation, not legal, by the way.
Right.
Because part of his thing is you pay him to live there, but you have to work on his artistic projects, which he takes credit for.
What?
Yeah, which
you're
he
paying him
apparently
to
made
work
quite a good
for
living
him.
off.
That's incredibly shitty. No wonder nobody calls back.
That is incredibly shitty.
Like,
So
have you thought that maybe indentured servitude is part of the reason you don't get a lot of interest?
So you're manipulating these people, and they don't have a place to live. You give them a place to live for cheap and make them work for you. So I'm thinking, like, no one stands up to this guy, do they?
Right.
This guy just gets... And then I just said, do you want to know what I really think?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Why did I say that? Why? Like, the gates had opened at that point. I couldn't stop. And, you know, how could he say no? If someone says to you, do you want to know what I really think? How can you say no? And I said, I think you are pretentious and egotistical.
Oh.
And I kept going, and then boom! The crazy came out in force.
Wow.
He had heard this criticism before.
I'm sure he has.
He had a map of words, which he used to circumvent any acknowledgement of what I just said, and turn me into an example for his flock to further manipulate him into...
That's what cult leaders do.
A lot of... You haven't revealed anything about me. You've revealed your own shallowness, and I want everyone to see this. To see the kind of libel being said against me in the city.
See this, minions?
Yeah.
Do you see this man, this shallow, fake artist asshole comes in here, thinks he knows about art? Look at these masterpieces I've created. Look at these masterpieces.
Doesn't that automatically denigrate anything he may or may not have created, which I have never seen?
Look at these masterpieces I've created. This is some of the best art of the 20th century, and I try to teach this guy something, and look at what he says. This is the proletariat who doesn't respect their leader in the communist revolution to save them.
Did he then blame it on the Jews?
No. He blamed it on me.
Did he blame it on the rain for softly falling? Whatever he do, don't put the blame on
He
him.
called me a fake artist, an asshole, shallow,
well,
an
to
idiot.
be fair, you did come into his quote-unquote house and insult him.
I did. I did. I couldn't help it.
But he waited to
And I told him, like, you know what, I'm sorry if I insulted you. You didn't insult me. You just revealed how shallow you are. No, I didn't insult you.
It's good to have a defense mechanism like that.
But it was a beautiful defense mechanism because it all turned it around into this, like, I'm an example. And so finally he decides he's above this conversation.
Well, see, that's exactly why I don't argue on forums anymore.
It's exactly, he is like a forum guy in real life.
The audience is automatically on his side. So he's just going to pander to them, and you're going to feel like
he pandered to them, made me the outcast.
Isolated asshole, yeah.
And then he decides he's going to bow out of the argument. He's above it and leave it to his little disciples. And that's where I saw how naive they were. Because at least this guy could control the conversation.
I just imagine them. We should probably edit out his name, just to be on the safe side. Because this is technically slanderous what we're saying.
So
I just imagine them descending on you like a cloud of harpies.
Yeah, they're all kind of sitting there, but like they weren't as aggressive as I expected. And I didn't realize just how naive these kids were. Like this guy could control the conversation without making any valid arguments. So yeah, I give that to him. He could control a conversation and turn it any way he wanted. These kids, I tell them, like, you don't think this guy is deifying himself a little, surrounding himself with art he made in the 80s, and with people who worship him and give him fellatio, clearly? You don't think this guy's kind of deifying himself? And what kind of leader of a revolution just proclaims himself the leader? Usually a revolutionary leader is recognized
thrusts towards leadership.
Yeah, recognized for their accomplishments. This guy's
has accomplished something since 1985.
Exactly. This guy just thinks he's great. Yeah. Well, actually, some leaders are self-proclaimed. Like a teacher just walks into the classroom and says, "I'm the teacher." So that's kind of an example.
They're employed by the state.
Here's the thing, Tyler.
That's an example. Oh my God! You don't even know. You don't know.
I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to play out. Within the next 5 to 10, because I've seen this happen before. In the next 5 to 10 years, we're going to be seeing this guy's face plastered all over newspapers because it's going to be, a creepy cult thing. This guy living with his 5 wives and his 10 children, whom he disciplines mercilessly with, forcing them to rinse their mouths out with Tabasco sauce or some evil shit like that.
I don't even know. And the people have given this guy money. This guy is taught at schools. He's received grants. He's started. People have supported him, and they live in this shitty theater. I don't know where he lives. I don't know how much money he gets or makes from all this. It's absurd, and finally, he showed me his portfolio of paintings and asked me to pick my favorite one, which is already fucking pretentious and douchey. Mm-hmm. And finally, I'm just looking.
Wait, he shows you his portfolio after
I've insulted him. After all this, he brings me his leather-bound portfolio.
Maybe this will turn everything around.
And yeah, exactly. And make sure
you haven't seen my art yet. Now I know why this conversation went astray.
Well, no, that's what he kept telling me. Just look at the art. Just look at the art. Look at these masterpieces. Make sure to mention that David Lynch liked this certain painting when he met him. I'm thinking to myself, if you really did meet David Lynch, he was just being nice.
And if he just nodded at it and
I
didn't
don't know,
swear,
though. I'm not sure that David Lynch has the capacity to just be nice.
To like anything.
Maybe not. So fine, maybe David Lynch is just as pretentious. I don't know him.
He's not pretentious. He's just weird.
He's just weird. He's probably cool, but I
like his thoughts on watching movies on phones.
I pointed a painting.
Yeah, just YouTube David Lynch iPhone.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
He's not happy. So I point to a painting and hand it back to him, and I don't say anything. I thought you would thank me for showing me this. Or for showing you this. I thought you would thank me for trying to teach you something, and you have nothing to say? I guess we have...
Well, he's a man who's clearly used to adulation for nothing.
Absolutely.
And fellation.
Apparently we have irreconcilable differences.
That's a tough word. I
know, it's hard when I've been drinking. And I still, at this point, couldn't tell how much of him was a joke and was serious. I still don't know. I don't know how serious he was about
I wonder if that's his performance art.
Maybe, just fucking
if that's
creeping
the
shit
whole
out
thing.
of people.
It's just like an installation. It's like we do this one person at a time. We set up the creepiest thing possible.
We put up a Craigslist ad.
We see how people
bring
react.
them in.
And now
that's
you
how
must
we get
die,
our endowments.
But before... You got to look in that camera right over there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, everybody!
Oh my God! I was seriously waiting for that. I walked out of there just and there's one of the girls who was in there.
You're sure it wasn't Sacha Baron Cohen in disguise?
I'm pretty sure because he was a short, fat white guy, and so I don't think it was unless their makeup artist is the same guy who does Eddie Murphy.
What are these clips you have?
All right, so I went to their website after the fact. I went before, but I didn't look at much. And so they do these musical productions with robots that might win science fair, and they do music and they do really bad 3D animation along with it, and it's performance art. Here is some clips of one of their songs. Play the first one.
It's like Haunted House.
It's like magic show music.
Yeah.
Wait for it to get great.
I made myself on the flavor stone.
Wow.
Stared at the sun till my eyes showed. Fish out my horse brain was getting made. I led the charge of the 9th Brigade. I led the charge of the 9th Brigade.
Just the way Brigade.
Undertaker karaoke.
Brigade.
It's like
if a college student was trying to imitate a character actor in an old western.
Yeah, I mean the second clip's from the same
like
song.
Leonard Cohen chasing a metronome.
The second clip's from the same song, but now he's getting intense. He's really into it.
Then I tip my sword with a heavy stone. What are you buying? For a long time low.
Did he just say, what are you buying?
No.
Let the charge of the 9th Brigade. I let the charge of the 9th Brigade. Shut up.
Man, now I'm imagining that song being sung by the merchant from Resident Evil 4, and it's brilliant.
It's so bad.
It's like when
Michael enjoyed my remix way too much.
I just got to remind you, this guy is telling me straight up, I'm a genius. These are masterpieces. How could you not? How could you disrespect me?
That is music that plays underneath a Six Flags shopping store.
And like the scary fact is, this guy's been recognized by colleges, art institutions, been given
like
money. It's terrible.
A deleted scene from The Matrix when the music hadn't been remixed yet.
Yeah.
The Night Brigade.
Done at the charge of the Night Brigade.
God damn it.
It's so bad. And then I go outside, I'm having a cigarette. One of the girls who was in there, who lives there, is out there, and like she's really cute.
Stupid, nutty, deluded fuck!
And that's what I wanted to hear is Penn Jillette just yell down from the heavens, "You stupid, nutty, deluded,
stupid, nutty, deluded
fuck!" And she's so sweet, and she's out there smoking, and she's just this cute blonde girl, and I wanted to say, like, she's sort of talking to me timidly, like, I kind of see what you were saying in there, I kind of get, but I
can get how he comes off as a douche.
I can get maybe you got off on the wrong foot. I'm like, no, he's manipulating you, get out. I wanted to like pick her up and carry her out of there, because she was really cute, but me, I simply didn't. I just said...
And you were in the horrible position of not being able to offer a place to go.
Yeah, I literally had no place.
So, where do you want to stay tonight?
So, where do you want to stay tonight? Yeah, I had no place
She's
to
like,
go.
oh, you can stay at my
but
place.
I'm just thinking to myself, you're paying this guy to work for him. That's not even legal. So I just kind of said, like, yeah, whatever. His vision is cool and all. Cabaret, which is what sounded great to me initially, his vision is cool. Maybe I just don't like the artist, and I walk away. And I felt disgusted and weird, and like I had just lived a dream. And then, the very next day, I gotta look for a place again, because this place didn't work out. So I go downtown, and I'm gonna meet up with this guy for a place. I call him, he doesn't answer. So I'm just kind of hanging out of this coffee shop, wondering why this guy ain't answering. And, this foreign guy walks up to me, seems cool. He's just like, hey, do you know how to, where, like, a theater is? I'm like, a theater? Like a movie theater? Yeah, for, movies. There's one down on Van Ness. You go down there. Okay. And then, I kind of strike up a conversation with this guy. He seems cool. He just moved in. He works at a restaurant. Hey, that's cool. He's an Indian guy. Seems like he's legitimately just moved in, needs someone to show him around. I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting to see this place. Actually, I'm moving, and maybe I'll live around here. Oh, cool, man. That's cool. I'm like, yeah, great. That is cool. And he's sort of like, I just moved in. I might need a roommate. It's expensive up here. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm looking for a place. So he's like, it's right around the corner, my place. You want to come see it? Yeah, I guess.
Here's some candy and $1.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you've just, I didn't realize I was being baited, but I was. And I'm just kind of like, well, I'm just waiting to hear back from this guy. I might as well go up there. It's kind of a studio. There's no space for anyone else. Hey, sit down.
So
make
after
yourself
the chloroform
comfortable.
wore off.
Yeah, after the chloroform wore off, I'm sitting on his bed because there's nowhere else to sit. So I'm like, okay, it's not that two guys hanging out in the studio, but why did he want to show me this place? I don't quite understand. Hey, man, take off your shoes. Get comfortable. It's cool. You want to watch a video?
Sure, shoes.
You want to watch a video? A video?
Yes.
What does that?
Yes, I do.
Is it robot performance?
One of you
art?
didn't know that you were being picked up.
Is it the one with the puppy you can't roll over?
Oops. I'm like still confused and clueless. Like, a video? What could that mean?
And they're like, oh, sorry, I'm new to San Francisco.
Yeah, sure. He opened up his laptop. There's a porn site open. I think it's a mistake and look away. It wasn't a mistake. The straight porn, by the way, begins playing. You getting hard, man? Whoa. Whoa.
Oh, uncomfortable.
Get comfortable. I'm touching myself, yeah?
Jesus.
You should touch... I'm on my feet so fast I'm floating in the air.
I gotta go. My legs are on fire.
So then I decided that apparently my car, despite being parked in the garage, needed to be moved. The meter gotta move my then like a cartoon character with my legs spinning in the air. I'm just getting hard.
Did you leave a U-shaped hole in his wall?
Yeah, no. Actually, after he asked if I was getting hard, I got so soft I just melted under his door and slid down the stairs and out to the street.
I don't have a sound effect for that.
And then he tried to play it off like he walked down after me and tried to play it off like, oh yeah, that's cool. Anyway, I gotta go do something. You don't have to go do something.
Anyway, yeah, I gotta go to that movie theater.
You're just embarrassed that you didn't, successfully suck.
That's
whoops. That was embarrassing, and this is right the day after the whole
the other one,
the circus of insanity.
I think you experienced two glorious alternative lifestyles. Your little brain wasn't ready to comprehend.
That's right, I wasn't ready. I did finally find a place with some normal-ass people.
Look at that.
And I'm not saying this guy wasn't. I mean, I'm not a homophobe, but if someone hits on me at a bar or whatever, a guy. Oh, that's cool. No thanks. I'm not interested. But if they get me up to their apartment under false pretenses and start asking if I'm hard, then I'm uncomfortable.
See why it's not weird? Why I stepped in a guy's car for offering me a ride home?
No, that is weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
You're taught from like 5.
All right,
don't get in a car you don't recognize.
Fair enough.
What about this car?
It's 29 years old. I have every right to do that.
29 years old, drunk.
Oh God.
And 2 a.m. in a very shady part of San Francisco.
That was a bad idea, man.
In the unlikely event that guy's listening, it's like you don't have to lie to guys to get them up to your apartment. Be upfront about it. You're in fucking San Francisco.
He's here because of Craigslist.
Yeah.
Use it. Okay. All right. We're gonna get.
All right, the Tyler Cast is over. Those are my personal stories.
We're gonna buoy the podcast on your submissions because they really made me laugh this week. We're gonna announce some winners. Gonna announce some new contests. We're gonna wrap this whole shebang up. I'm gonna close this segment out with what really happened between Tyler audibly.
No!
So you were safe.
I was safe, in a way.
And you got a lot of money, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, this is Bill Corbett of Mystery Science Theater 3000 and RiffTracks.com, and you're listening to TalkRadar. Did I say that right? TalkRadar, not the TalkRadar.
Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a real dinosaur? Of course you haven't, and you never will. Fact. That's because they never existed, and science is a lie. I mean, have you actually ever seen a sperm? We've all tried. All you have to do is read and understand the Epsilon Tract, and the secrets of the universe will be open to you. This is a life-altering experience. All your mortal fears will be at ease. The Epsilon Program. This time, God, it's personal.
Coming soon on video and DVD.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. I play video games.
Oh, it's an exciting time then.
In the cutthroat business of podcasting, 5 men vow to make a difference. At any cost.
We know things are bad, worse than bad.
Number 1, 2. Cost Sega about $1 billion.
It's a depression.
These nerds are a threat to our way of life.
Red Elston.
Buckle your goddamn safety belt!
Oh, hell no!
Charlie Barrett.
It was my life, Charlie.
Find it for $50 on eBay.
Shane Patterson.
Hey! Hey, wait! My name is Shane. Are you Jade Raymond?
Chris Antista.
Back off, Italian boys. Stay out of this. This is strictly homicides.
And Michael Raparez in this summer's biggest podcasting event.
It appears you're up against Rosgrease itself out
there. Don't be the only one in your town to miss. Talk Radar.
only time I use recycled paper as toilet paper is when I wipe with Paul Krugman's New York Times columns.
Are you reading Reddit right now?
Wonderfully right wing.
He's looking at Twitter.
It's Stephen Colbert.
Bringing us into the third segment. Alice in Chains Wood Rock Band DLC this week. I know it's on PSP already, right?
Is it?
No idea.
Yes.
Okay, it is. I believe
it is. It is, but they also have Rooster and a bunch of other stuff and some Breaking Benjamin.
Breaking Benjamin.
I'm not familiar with the Benjamins.
It's all about them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Kula Shaker?
What do you think?
Not familiar. I don't know. What do you want? Do we want to just go run into game deals super fast?
Give me some deals.
Here it is.
Take my advice, do as I say. Save a little money for a rainy day.
Me and Michael cannot stop from doing a little dance whenever that plays.
Well, first off, my buddy Spicules sent me this over. He's like, you have to mention this. It's too stupid not to. You'd be remiss in your game dealing duties. Left 4 Dead this week on Steam is $14.99.
Yep.
This for the single game. A 4-pack is $44.99, meaning 4 people get a copy of Left 4 Dead for $44.99, which in some places is cheaper than the Xbox version alone. That's good stuff. I'm also seeing. May have to look this up and amend this later, but Marvel Ultimate Alliance for the 360 is going on Newegg for $46.99.
The Ultimate Alliance 2.
2, yeah.
Right.
Ultimate Alliance 2 and possibly Killzone 2 is going at $39.99. We all know, PS3 games never go down in price.
That is strange.
Yeah, Heavenly Sword is still fairly expensive.
Yep.
Yeah, last time I tried to buy Heavenly Sword or Ninja Gaiden Sigma, they were still $60.
My favorite game for PS3.
Which has been a while. So
Valkyria Chronicles, PS Trip, cheaper. $19.99 at Walmart.
That's an excellent price.
Mad World Gamefly, $9.99.
Jesus.
Double check that. It looks like it. I don't know if it's like you're already a subscriber. Keep it for $9.99.
Right.
Could be that. But Mad World's a cool game. Amazon once again leading the pack. Wario Land Shake It.
Excellent game.
$29.99.
Probably should be a little cheaper, but okay.
Should be a little cheaper at this point.
It's been out for a year now.
Good game though.
It is a good game, and it's beautifully animated. But it's been out for a year, and it clearly didn't make a big impact. So I'd mark that shit down and get it out.
That is what Nintendo's failure cost you.
Yeah.
The price it should have been at to begin with. Midnight Club Los Angeles also at Amazon, $29.99, PS3 and 360. ODST, I believe, according to my notes, PS3 only, $49.99 at Amazon.
Oh yeah?
Yes. No one's laughing. Michael's actually looking at me like he thinks I'm serious.
I just
really for the PS3.
I'm just drunk enough that my brain doesn't process jokes correctly.
If
I was actually looking for Mad World on GameFly.
I got drink it.
What?
Don't push that button just yet.
No.
I want to reiterate. I mentioned this before, but thank you. The Toys R Us trade-in that's going on. A couple of my friends. Well, one of my friends still works there. But another one of my friends has actually been taking advantage of it, and I sent a Twitter out on twitter.com/Brelston asking how everyone else, how does it seem to be working well? The price is better because Toys R Us just started to trade in your old games. We give you credit, they ship them back, and it's any game. It's every game.
Mm-hmm.
And
like ever?
Really?
That's what I understand.
GameCube
like you go back to GameCube.
Oh, because it's a third party. Like that just deals with used games in general.
Yes.
Okay.
But you take your shit into Toys R Us, and the word is that their prices are always higher.
Yeah.
Like if you get more credit, you get more money back,
Right.
and like across the board, it may only be a matter of like $2 or $3, but it's always higher.
Yeah, it still helps.
And it seems to still be doing well.
Like
so
GameStop won't even take Xbox games, original Xbox games. They won't even take them.
Yeah, they'll from what I understand, they'll take everything, but just go to Toys R Us, see if it works, because I'm all about another option for trading shit in than GameStop. Like I'd like one other venue to try.
I agree with bargain hunting, and I just don't like that.
I just feel like a dick walking into Toys R Us, like ever.
Well, I'm sorry. When I was your age,
because I'm not 5.
And that is the
that's the thing that I used to feel okay with it, and now it's weird.
It feels weird.
I mean, they keep all the M-rated games like locked up, and they're not even on display.
It's just embarrassing to walk in there.
You have to walk by the strollers. And
the guy who works there, I asked for Castlevania, whatever the newest one was, shortly after it came out, and he didn't know what Castlevania was.
Oh, no.
Ooh,
it is embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, well, what do
Hey.
We're going to
blame you, Brett.
Let's play out this segment.
Take my advice, do as I say, save a little money for a rainy day.
Man, this time, since I'm the sober one, you are 3 annoying bunch of bitches.
Shut up.
Because I'm sick. I'm going to throw it up.
It's time. Like you just don't care. It's time. It's time. No, what we have contests.
We do.
We definitely have a trick or treat on DVD.
What is that?
I don't know, but it's a horror movie.
A horror movie.
A horror movie.
A horror movie?
It's a horror movie. A horror movie.
Oh, horror.
It's important you don't enunciate at least one of those
horror
words.
movie.
Horror.
Brian Singer. She's like, I remember the Brian Singer directed it. I'm like, I don't think that's correct.
Yeah.
But he probably produced it.
Right.
If anything.
He accepted a fee to put his name on it.
But I did see that it got some good reviews. Trick or Treat. I don't want to do this now, but I have to. Halloween. Name your worst Halloween costume.
Ooh.
Pictures help.
Yeah. To win Trick or Treat on DVD?
Trick or Treat on DVD.
Oh my god. My mom made me a swamp monster costume. It was green felt and then like shit from the aquarium, like the fish store, like that you'd put in an aquarium, like the plastic, like fake seaweed, just like fucking super glued to it, or like with a hot glue gun.
And you won a prize?
And I went to school wearing that.
Charlie has a great picture of me on Halloween in my awful default boo-boo costume.
Last year's Halloween was a
where I'm editing video in a fucking costume. It's the saddest picture I've ever seen.
It's really sad.
No, I wanted to go very badly for Halloween when I was 8 years old as a piece of shit. And my parents said no. You can't go as shit. So I built a toilet out of cardboard and like, you're a toilet for Halloween. Like, me, the person,
right?
I'm wearing all brown.
Right.
I'm sticking out a head, but it was an elaborate toilet. I gotta find this picture because I won a contest inadvertently by walking by someone in the neighborhood. That is a good toilet costume. Like, it wasn't the point. I just wanted to be shit. I just want to be poop. But
no shit.
And by the way,
no shit.
I just want to say quickly that the amount of like crap I gave my mom over that Swamp Thing costume is one of the things that I'm so embarrassed about and regret, because she worked so hard on it, and me being a douchey fucking kid.
But you were a kid, you didn't know better.
Your mom's kind of a pushy bitch sometimes.
I love my mom, and she worked fucking hard on that costume.
Well, and
such an asshole.
Here's what I'm afraid of, is that so long ago I said, yeah, I want to do the Public Enemies Batman vs. Superman out on DVD this week.
Batman always wins, right?
Batman usually wins because you want him to, because Superman's so overpowered.
Yeah.
Because Superman always should win against Batman. Come on, comic nerd, where are you? I need you here.
I feel like shit.
Help me out.
What do you think? I mean, theoretically, Superman should always win against Batman.
He has fought him multiple times. Batman almost always wins.
Always
Why?
wins. And several times I've seen because Superman gets a phone call. I got to go do this other thing.
The
so
reason
Batman wins the battle.
Batman almost always wins, like I'd say 9 out of 10 times, is because Superman's flaws are so crystal clear, and Batman is a master strategist and always has a plan on him at all times.
How about that kryptonite, right?
On him at all times, in case someone takes over Superman's mind, Superman decides to snap, Superman pushes himself too far.
Because Batman has contingency plans.
He always has a... Go read Tower of Babel, Justice League. Awesome story of Batman's contingency plans going awry.
Is that the Red Kryptonite story?
Isn't Superman also supposed to have like genius level intelligence though?
He is, but that doesn't stop him from being weak against kryptonite and magic. So
I think he'd have thought up a way around that by now.
It's like Superman's weakness is diseases. Like just something vague that it can be created out of thin air.
Right.
Swine flu. No.
Whereas Batman is just like the badassiest guy with the most badass training who doesn't really have weaknesses.
He doesn't have any weaknesses.
He has human weaknesses, but
right. But that's why he's fun to read and watch, is because he is a normal person. Peak person, but he still triumphs over people.
How do we put this into a contest?
How do we put this into a contest?
Batman versus Superman. Public Enemies. Batman versus Flavor. No.
I'd like to see an image of like how Batman would beat Superman,
Or vice versa.
or vice versa.
Or vice versa. Decide this battle without ever having seen the movie.
Do you know that they fight? Because I think they're both just put on.
It looks like that, but that's the title of the movie is Batman versus Superman. So just depict the battle in text, but I gotta tell you, the judges love looking at pictorial entries.
And for the Street Fighter contest, I asked for images. Someone made an awesome YouTube video. I forget who. He ended up winning. He animated his own like Street Fighter YouTube video.
Hey, if you make an epic
Look, I'm
video
just saying,
with
make an effort, be creative. It will be rewarded.
MK versus DC, well,
and I don't care how good you are at drawing. It's the effort and the creativity that's awesome.
Exactly.
It's not about paying $20 for it yourself.
Yeah,
which would be much easier.
That's right.
Yes, just do whatever you think you can do to make us laugh as we reiterate it once you win. Think about that.
Make us laugh regarding Superman and Batman fighting.
Here are the winners.
They're both men.
The winners. We're going to announce some winners.
And by the way, your shit's on the way. If you already won, I know.
Oh, we're mailing out.
I know
all
we've
that
been
shit.
really busy, and we keep telling you, sorry. It's literally in boxes going. It is going to
That's
where
right.
you live. We promise all those contests way back when that you don't have your shit yet. It's coming.
Supernatural winners. Remember the awful, awful contest we did to not do Supernatural justice? Describe us a better show we'd want to watch that would have the title of Supernatural. And one of the winners, Gemini Man 82. It's a TV show based off the movie The Natural. After his brilliant baseball career, Roy Hobbs retires to an old folks community in Florida, and after a few weeks in retirement, Hobbs becomes horribly disfigured by mutated by a chemical bomb dropped by the Nazis in the state of Florida, starting World War II. Beautiful.
I love it.
Mutated Robert Redford. Mufasa 95, a supernatural WB smash hit TV show where James Earl Jones, better known as Mufasa, plays Cristobal Munatalista, a 14-year-old Costa Rican orphan taxi driver comes into magical powers after a shadowy customer leaves a briefcase in his cab.
Jesus.
I would watch a show with James Earl Jones playing a 14-year-old Costa Rican.
Hell yeah.
And
especially if they made no effort to make him up to look like a 14-year-old.
You know what? Mufasa did. There's a picture, a great picture of James Earl Jones in a mohawk and a Vietnam jacket that we'll post on the front page of the site. Also, winners, Captain America, Superman.
There, that got me.
Superman destabilized my boom tube, and Schnazzy won. Smallville season 4 winners. We asked you to put a Superman emblem on a game personality, which is why we didn't do that for this contest. Put a Superman logo on Activision's Bobby Kotick.
The head of the company?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What I do is for the good of the people.
I send to you my only son.
That kind of thing. Grumpy Dinosaur, you won points with me, not saying I'm a judge. Super Yosemite Sam, very nice. My quirk, Super Prawn, timely District 9 reference, turned the prawn into a superhero. He did it beautifully pictorially. Forrest 22X, finally, once again, your constant Kirby submissions have won you a prize. Every contest we have, he does with Kirby. Kirby Superman, and Hamburglar Touched Me, of course you take it with Superman, Super Mega Man, which is Superman and Mega Man sprites. Pretty beautiful. Observe and report. Like I was saying, this is a restructuring podcast.
I love
I'm
this.
finding all my files, and I didn't have time to prepare much because I'm got a new computer, re-downloading all these files, and I went to this thing, and you guys cracked me the fuck up. What was the criteria of the contest?
The contest was because the movie...
Such a cop-out, too.
Yeah. Well, I thought it'd lend to some funny results, and look
It absolutely did.
The contest, because it's called Observe and Report, and we didn't know what the contest was going to be, we're just like, make an observation about the world that you think no one else has made yet.
Yeah.
It can be funny, it can be
Observe
stupid.
something and
Observe
report
something,
it.
and you'll win. And then, of course, we got a lot of good ones.
And report on it. No, I just... You
and
know
they
what?
won, what? Observe Report on
Observe
Blu-ray?
Report on Blu-ray. We have 4 to give away.
One got lost.
4. One got lost. It's very odd. And I gotta say, that movie is fucking great.
Is it?
Observe and Report.
I can't wait to watch it.
Unbelievable. It's so goddamn dark.
I'm gonna have to borrow that lost copy from you.
If you imagine a Will Ferrell character like acting like a complete asshole, but he's on a lot of medication and every action he has direct results. So if he gets mad and throws a basketball through a window, oh, that's just Will Ferrell being hilarious. No, there's real. He gets arrested.
There's like consequences.
Has to be brought down by.
That
the
was
police.
someone's window, you asshole.
Yeah.
I should quickly say, while Chris is getting this ready, that the contest we just mentioned a minute ago, and all of these entries can be seen gamesradar.com/forums.
TalkRadar podcast.
Or just go to gamesradar.com, click on the forums link. It's all in the TalkRadar podcast forum, and it's fucking great. You should join our community because you will win shit. Like, you will win stuff after a while.
Just keep entering. And
the same people are entering a lot of the times, and as much as we love them, we want to give some new people some prizes. So please come and enter, and we will very seriously consider your entry. Because it'll be one of,
And this is the one where I took a point. There was a lot of people who's like, I want DVD only. Well, we only have Blu-ray.
Yeah. Sorry.
So if you said that and had a great entry, you didn't win.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Just take the Blu-ray.
And that sucks. I wanted to say Sausage Lozenge, but
I love that guy.
He would have had it, but he did reiterate a lot of Stephen Wright jokes. Why do you park in a driveway and drive on a parkway? Good. Why does Hawaii have interstates? Good observation.
Very good, but I've heard it.
Because of government funding boondoggles.
Exactly. Or tradition. But why is it called taking a dump when you're leaving one? Right.
Why do you fill in a form and fill it out? Whoa.
Sausage Lodge. Turbo had a good one. How come a kid born 4 months premature can drink alcohol when they turn 21 before a kid who was born 2 months after the premature baby that wasn't born premature solely because he didn't come out of the vagina sooner?
That's a good point.
Good
point.
Ravenbaum, it was Ravenbaum, I hope. He was talking about dating Japanese women, and Japanese women are always known as the most submissive.
The stereotype
is stereotyped as being submissive
yeah.
women, yet they're always the subject of tentacle porn.
Right.
So why subject a submissive woman to tentacle porn? It was a brilliant observation.
They're already like, hello.
But I couldn't read it on the air. So
you just did.
I didn't read it. I reiterated it. And this one made me laugh. It was like Lister Feed or something like that. It's an observation of a general question. Someone old was talking about how their generation had better things to do and if given the opportunity wouldn't have played video games as children. I said, you're fucking stupid, and then had to apologize to my grandfather. Really like the way that was written. Lister Feed, WinRAR.
All right, good job.
Swamp Proof, 1120.
Is he really swamp proof?
I mean, like, swamps get all over you, man.
It wasn't part of the contest.
I watched Survivor, man. The swamps are really tough.
Yeah.
Why is it that all gym teachers are fucking hypocrites? We get dressed and walk down to the track, and then they get their fat, Krispy Kreme-filled asses in a golf cart and ask you to jog a lap.
Oh,
seriously, when was the last time you did a push-up? I have always had fat gym instructors.
My gym teacher was not only fat, but also racist, and like amazingly so. Like, my high school, there were a lot of Mexican kids. Yeah, we live in California, so what? But I remember him, like, looking out at the basketball court and just surveying it and going, man, it's like Mexico City out there.
Isn't that a
I don't know, yeah.
What an observation.
What can I say? Mexican kids like basketball.
I was referring purely to the climate. It's a very high elevation.
That deserves a Rapara sound effect.
There you go.
I actually had all...
The weather does not agree with me.
I actually had all fit gym teachers.
I did not. I
lived there for 20 years and helped the homeless.
I had some that ran with me and astounded me that they got through. They had some athletic prowess underneath the girth. They're all really big.
One of my high school almost went to the Olympics, I believe.
Think about most of the football coaches you see. Like, John Madden.
I know this.
John Madden is a fat tub of shit. Where I come from, Bobby Bowden, I don't know if he walks. He seems to travel everywhere on a golf cart.
What you want to do is get a touchdown to win.
Yes.
You know what? I think I could be a football coach.
I think you could. Gain a couple 100 pounds.
Yeah, I'm on it.
So my strategy is put the ball in the touchdown zone area.
Ferried from place to place by an army of servants.
Here's one that should have won, but didn't, because if that other copy hadn't been lost, by the way, great movie. Juan's
Picked
Auto.
it up last week.
Why fart and waste it when you can burp and taste it?
Right. That's from 3rd grade.
Is it? I've never heard that.
Yeah,
I heard that, yeah.
Oh, well, then good. He didn't win.
Sorry, buddy.
It's good, but I'm
It was
just
a
saying
good try.
It's known.
Douchey McGee.
What a douche.
I love the name.
He hit me really hard, and it's a completely douchey statement, but I'm willing to back him up on this. Teenage girls ruin music. They are the reason music is so shitty. The shitty music is so popular, and they're absolutely right. I saw a stupid documentary
Look what it did for the Beatles.
on metal, and that metal was like
no,
it
you
was
didn't, Brett.
metal was everything you're going to see in Brutal Legend.
Yeah.
And then Poison and
Right.
Whitesnake and everything you see advertised on Monster Ballads.
Right.
They realized that they could score with underage girls.
That's right. It didn't.
Yeah.
It became less about Satan and more about love.
And I just wish it would go back to being about Satan.
And what teenage
wrong
girl do
with
you
that?
know who has music?
None.
Few.
Not even saying that, but they seem to dictate music.
Yeah.
They really do.
Music
It's
popularity.
because
I
when they
completely agree with
scream,
that.
it's the most annoying sound.
They scream. It's the most devoted. The most.
What's that? What are the brothers? The Disney fucking...
Jonas Brothers.
Oh,
The
God.
The Naked Brothers band.
It was kind of weird, like, as an adult meeting women who, like, have nostalgia for Poison. It's like, really?
Really?
Yeah.
That exists?
Really?
You
I
can listen to
don't-
their music, you can listen to that and, like, George Michael and be all like,
That's
oh,
so
man.
cute.
The thing is, here's the thing.
That's my
I
childhood.
know women.
No,
I know
that's
women who have a
my Masters
nostalgia
of
for
the
Hanson.
Universe.
Like literally
Right.
have a nostalgia for Hanson.
The thing is, most of that
Why?
music is what it
It's
is.
too early
It was
to have
vapid.
nostalgia for Hanson.
It was
No,
vapid.
it's not.
It was
People do. Yeah, Brett.
It was
You're
what?
talking
Trying to
over
say
other
something?
people. Don't pretend like you're waiting.
No,
Go.
I'm purposely
Go.
waiting. It
Go.
was vapid nonsense to begin with, but it's meant to be what it is. It's disposable. And every time fucking Here I Go Again comes on in a bar, everyone fucking goes off.
Not me.
Oh, right.
go
You're better.
away.
I forgot.
It's
It's meant to be just that throwaway music.
I am completely with you in that sometimes there's
There's a time
something
to just-
heartwarming about cliches.
There's just a time to let go. I
But
don't fucking
chick
like
music,
any of it. But
chick music, no. I have loved a lot of women, and their iPods are always fucking terrible. Always god awful. Never go more than 2 cuts deep into an album.
right.
No.
My wife has better taste in music than me, and I hate
Your wife is an exception.
it. Except for U2. She
She
loves
is
U2,
cool.
and I can't really.
You hate
Really?
you too?
I don't hate
I like
them.
you too. You know. I
But
mean, I don't love
like
them,
them
but
either.
I don't hate them.
But in fairness to Douchey McGee, your wife doesn't qualify as a teenage girl.
That's true. She did at one point.
Teenage girl. It's but teenage girl. They seem to dictate things. Just saying.
We should talk
Poker
about
face.
We should talk about what's on our iPods at some time.
No.
Let people know.
No.
what we
I don't
listen
want anybody to
to
know I haven't bought an album since 2001.
Well, you all know what's on my iPod. You went to my wedding.
You were a really good DJ at your wedding, by the way.
Yeah, since the real one didn't show up because he had a drunk driving arrest.
Is that what happened?
Yes.
You never told me.
Yeah. So here's a story. So we got married almost a year ago. 5 minutes before the ceremony happened, we found out, it was like the staff of the place where we had it at came to us and said, like, oh yeah, the DJ hasn't showed up yet. He hasn't set up anything. It's like, and we're trying to call this guy. We don't hear from him. We have to hook up my iPod to the hotel sound system. It was
awesome.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I basically DJ'd it myself.
Forget what it was, but it was like first song. Like, this is Michael's iPod.
Hey
Rock it.
guys,
yeah.
so I was gonna have a wedding. Remember?
I'm sorry. But yeah, we found out later that
Chris, you're not his best man.
he had a
anymore.
drunk driving arrest.
I'll never
That's
be
true.
best
Chris was
man.
gonna be my best
How'd
man.
you enjoy your honeymoon? Michael was just in Hawaii.
Yeah, and just went to Kauai actually.
Hey, he brought us
that was a lot of
cookies
fun.
too. It was
Yeah, I
great. They
brought-
were so
brought
good.
everybody back
I had
cookies.
the guava cookies, and they didn't taste like guava, but they were still great.
I was curious to know what those tasted
They
like.
did really. They just tasted like delicious, buttery, sugary cookies, but there was like
That's
no
good.
guava like
The last
sense.
winter is just on pins and needles. That's okay. How was your trip to Hawaii? I did want to know. I haven't even asked you yet.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We went all over the place. We went snorkeling, and we swung off. I swung off a rope into like a crazy waterfall swimming hole.
That is so
It was
awesome.
kind of awesome. Yeah.
Do we have a picture of that we can put on GamesRadar.com?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not of me specifically on it, but you can see the rope swing.
We will see it. We will
Wow.
have Michael in Hawaii.
That's
the
exactly
last
what
winter.
people do in brochures of vacations.
Mm-hmm.
That was so cool.
It was slightly terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah, but to finish the earlier story, just in case anyone's left in suspense there, yeah, we found out that the DJ didn't show up to our wedding because he had been arrested for drunk driving, and he didn't get back to us until several weeks later. So fun! All right,
man,
last
I'm really
winner.
happy.
Sorry, dude.
Took me like a month to sober up, man. It was quite a bender.
Yeah.
Sorry, my dog just left me.
It was not a good scene.
It's crazy. The last winner, Batman 5273.
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
That's my Batman sound effect. He's a cop.
Oh,
Really?
Is this the same guy who was telling the story about
No, I don't
a different
think it
cop?
was. I don't think
Man,
it was.
cops fucking love us.
And I did want to say, hey, exclamation point. It's just they were really long and personal, but he was a mall security guard.
Oh.
Has some great anecdotes in the same forums.
Perfect in regard to this movie.
Talk Radar forums. One thing I noticed is that there's a direct correlation between crime and the weather. And this will seem totally obvious to everybody. For example, the hotter it is, there is a rise in homicides, robberies, thefts, burglaries, assaults, disturbances, fights, grand theft of a motor vehicle, etc., meaning the crimes like to go outside. The colder it is, the rates of those crimes drop, but others rise, such as domestic violences, non-violent family crimes, and suicides. So that means that criminals go indoors and commit crimes against their own family and friends. Which is a jaded way to look at things if you're a cop, but it's still fucking amazing. I'm glad we had a cop say that.
I never thought about that.
To win a Seth Rogen movie.
It's fucking cold out. If I'm going to beat someone, it might as well be my wife. I don't want to go outside.
Yeah.
That is racist against criminals.
There's your win roars, bid snatches.
Awesome.
Engage.
We will repeat that on the Talk Radar page on GamesRadar.com. We'll post all the winners in case you didn't catch your own name.
Engage.
Brett, Elson, whatever you have to do.
Oh, man. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Boom! Pardon my face for exploding.
Brett Elston explodes with energy.
Oh, I'm throwing up with my mind.
Oh,
I'm throwing up with this vodka.
So sad.
I just don't feel good.
Toad, one.
This is you're watching a man like from the beginning of the podcast to the end, getting sicker and sicker, and just being miserable.
I'm not having it. But
would it make you feel better if I let you pick a clip from a Street Fighter cartoon character?
Yes.
Which one? Which one would you like?
Sagat?
I knew it would work.
Oh, look how much better he feels.
I'm not even sick. I was lying.
Got her.
To further the community segment, beyond contest announced, contest winners, new contests.
The forums were down this week, and I wanted to make sure we gave a little attention to the community.
Yeah, but I've started a separate thing. Ask a Games Journalist. There's a thread inside of GamesRadar.com/forums, Talk Radar podcast. It's called Ask a Games Journalist.
There's a pubic hair on my computer.
That's probably yours.
I didn't remove my pants almost once.
They work their way up. They start at the toes.
Yes, pubic hair start at the toes.
I did sit and think a long time about why it grows so late. What's the biological reason it waits to grow?
Good question.
Either. I guess when the sperm becomes
hairy. What?
No. Like so,
you got to keep them warm.
Look, I don't want to get base, but when I grow older, I notice if I don't empty my tank, my fists clench, and I'm willing to punch people. So I need to get that out. So maybe
hair.
My genetics want to move on, even if I don't.
Right.
So they need to be kept within a certain degree of temperature.
That doesn't.
They're protecting themselves.
Okay.
I don't speak for my genes, motherfucker.
All right. Well, that was enlightening.
We've all got some manscaping
oh my
to
God.
do.
Come on, sad sack.
Not sad sack. It's
Listen
sick.
to that. That's you. That's who everybody expects.
I get sick once a year, and it's awful every time.
Just
anyway,
fight
Ask a Game. Ask a Games Journalist. It's a forum where you can come and ask us questions about the games industry, what it's like to work in it, what developers are really like.
It's crazy.
What questions that you kind of wonder, and I don't think anyone really. Occasionally, other podcasts will address them, but. Blah, blah, blah. 69 was the last time we asked a question. We missed it last week. This week, Elfangor01 asked a question, and I have it, and I'm going to read it.
Hey, do that.
Awesome. Starting now. What is a game you disliked, but knew to be a good game, so you had to give it a good score?
Oh, wow.
Which is an important distinction when you're doing professional reviews.
It
when
is.
you know this game... I do not like it. I'm not enjoying myself.
Yeah.
But I have to give it a score because objectively, I can acknowledge that this is a strong
Definitely
game.
happened to me.
At the risk of being a very dead horse, Killzone 2.
Oh!
Yeah, there you go.
Because that is a game I personally dislike. I have never really had much love for it, but I can recognize it's a very good game.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And,
it smells like olives.
Right,
Am I going to have a stroke?
You're going to be okay.
I ain't available for $39.99 on newegg.com.
It's true.
I had the same thing. It was my very first review for Games Radar as a strapping young intern.
Right.
It was Super Dragon Ball Z,
Ew.
which I had no interest in, but I gave it a 7 because, technically, this is a decent fighting game.
Part of reviewing is
I'm not that interested.
Is knowing your audience.
Right.
Some of the Dragon Ball Z games, it's like, I hate this license, but this game is really fun.
No, yeah, I had fun with it. I just didn't care about it. After I was done reviewing it, I never went back to it, but I had to give it a fair score because it wasn't a bad game, but I'm not the kind of person to be interested. The Bomberman...
Bomberman Act Zero?
Bomberman Act Zero, on the other hand, was just plain terrible, and
Yeah. You haven't reviewed a game in a long time.
I haven't. I'm reviewing Borderlands, which is going to be great.
What was the last game you reviewed?
The last game I reviewed was probably Bomberman Act Zero.
Wow!
I haven't reviewed a game in ages.
Jesus.
It's just I just keep doing features and shit.
I guess I want to use Naruto, but for the same reasons. Like I would intensely research Naruto and see how important it was that it followed in the series, and it wasn't just reading the Wikipedias, it's going to read message board and seeing how shocked people are to find out certain revelations as the series goes on. When it finds out those characters are there and playable, that has value, and if the game still works as a game, Naruto gets a 7 or an 8, and it sucks because I was doing literally one every 1 or 2 a month.
Yeah,
for a long time.
Yeah, you did a lot of
and
Naruto
they never
games.
stopped. Just the storyline kept going, and it kept. I guess we use the word fan service, and I guess kind of now. And no offense, because I'm going to give it a good score, but Forza, I'm totally bored with that kind of game.
Yeah,
it's a sterile racing game. Need for Speed has revitalized its presentation and on how you're rewarded for being a good driver. And Forza hasn't. You can rewind so as not to be penalized for being a bad driver.
But you can imagine how gearheads would really like it, right?
Right.
But I don't think gearheads are what makes Gran Turismo sell. I think it's people who like being in cars. I think it's people who like a good racing game. I can't imagine 4 million people are gearheads and buying Gran Turismo.
Yeah, that's true.
I just can't imagine that. And I do feel like I can't wait to see 5 come out because I don't think. We know what Gran Turismo is. You know you're not going to like it.
I know I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, and I bought plenty of them, and I'm realized I don't need to. I don't want to.
I'm not going to like it, but if I reviewed it, it'd probably get a decent. I'd have a hard time faulting it.
Phenomenal game,
and it's
very deep. But I would rather play Dirt or Need for Speed.
But the point is,
I would rather play anything else.
Taking your personal taste and separating them from your objective opinion of there's not much to fault this game about is. It can be hard, but you have to do that. You have to objectively go, look, technically this all works really well. It's just not for me, but I gotta say it all works really well.
I may not give it a score, but it's still a 9 or a 10. I haven't decided.
Right for Forza.
Yeah, it's really, really, really goddamn good. The progression is great in terms of that old kind of racing.
Whether or not you would ever pick it up and play it on your own in your personal time doesn't matter.
And I say old kind of racing game is in there's Forza and there's Gran Turismo, and there's one allowed per platform, and maybe one more sequel allowed per generation. You can't do more than that because they're too big. And Forza's really, really goddamn big.
Short of reviewing Forza a week early.
I'll say that Infamous was the exact opposite of that for me, and that it's a game I really liked, but that its shortcomings were just too much to.
You really liked it as a person, but professionally you had to score it down.
But it's like the city's really bland, and this sticking to everything kind of gets in the way of the gameplay. Anyway, Brett's clearly impatient, so
why don't you answer?
I don't have one. I really don't.
You don't?
No, I actually have a list of every review I've ever written for Radar.
Brett likes every game he's reviewed.
I don't. Well, they're all debatable because that's a personal opinion. But I actually looked and I'm looking at every review I've written, and I
Smash Brothers.
Which one?
The one you gave a 10.
Brawl?
Yes.
Did I get down that far? Because that's pretty good. I did get that far. Probably so. Yeah, I guess.
But professionally, it's worthy.
Yeah, it's the Wii's biggest thing you could do. The online sucked. I don't like that kind of game for more than like a week. I just devour all the Nintendo content and move on. But it's tournament level. It's played at EVO. It's played. Melee was played for like 8 years.
Right.
Some shit like people are still playing it. And so I guess that's
right.
the closest
Professionally,
one.
you had to give it a 10, but personally, you'd only play it for a week.
Yeah, just because even when I had friends who played Melee, after like 2 weeks, we all just moved on. It's like,
No, I did too.
Even though I loved that first week, but I guess that is the closest one I have, which is strange. I figured I'd have something else, but by virtue of being a Radar from the beginning, we reviewed a lot of shit. And those I stand by the shitty scores they got. Second question, Rat Puncher. Have you, and this is one we kind of have to dance around.
Yeah.
But have you ever gotten into situations where angry publishers keep you from their games? For maybe vindictive reasons, or they think you're not going to give it a fair shake.
Are we going to get
there was a big one of those, but I don't know if we can talk about it.
We probably can't, but I can say I have personally been involved with such a thing that ended up with us not being able to see games for...
Metroid.
Yeah, don't say it.
No, sorry.
That resulted in us not being able to see an entire company's games for many months.
This is the first time we're bringing this up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does happen in the industry. I mean...
Do you want to be vague about it?
You have to understand that these are companies that are trying to sell games, and when they invite people out, and let's say... This is a hypothetical one, but like, let's say a website had a reputation for, man, no one there likes Animal Crossing. They're going to shit all over this game. Nintendo will probably like, we're not going to put them on the mailing list next time we have an Animal Crossing event. Or somebody posts an article that's unflattering about Modern Warfare 2. Well, maybe when Modern Warfare 3 comes out, we're not going to invite that site. Like, that happens.
The fact that I still open mail for Paul Ryan and Christian Nutt makes me believe that is that someone paying that much attention?
Most of the time they don't, but occasionally...
Depends on the company.
Depends on the company and the profile of the game. Like, if we said something disparaging about a AAA franchise that's a million seller every time.
It's like you said, we have to dance around this one, but a certain magazine who also works with us gave a certain game a 9.5 instead of a 10, and the publisher flipped out, didn't send them anything, called them up angrily. They sent Games Radar all kinds of shit, didn't send this magazine anything, and just really flipped out.
One of their employees drunkenly asked me if I could do anything about that.
Yeah, actually wanted us to go to another department of the company, to a magazine, wanted us as Games Radar to go tell them to change their score.
But
that's ridiculous.
He was drunk at the time, so...
Right, but it's just absurd to think that that's how we work, that we'll just change our score.
Right, nobody changes their score on that kind of stuff. But those kinds of things happen because they are businesses, and the PR people have a job to do too, and that's to get positive buzz. So when they know someone's going to give negative buzz, they're going to avoid that person.
I should say that as a reviewer, I do believe you have the right to change your opinion, but I do think we're all competent enough to not change our score.
Right.
Yeah. And
that's what it means at the time. Things change.
But I just want to make it very clear that publishers do freak out about this stuff, and we obviously don't give in. We have integrity. We stick by our scores,
but on
no matter how much they bitch.
Right, and in their defense, they are just doing what they are paid to do, which is... But yeah, that you will sometimes be left out of the next event.
Yeah.
Some blog pisses somebody off, they're not going to be at the next event.
Bring this up in the vaguest sense that there was one review we had on our site, someone I won't name, on a game I won't name, that wasn't a high-profile game, but the first comment in the review is clearly the publisher lambasting the person who wrote the review.
Yeah. They will comment on our site.
We've had several of those.
Well, have we?
Yeah, we've had more than one.
Yeah, this is notable because you can still go there now, and there's 3, and one of them is like 18 paragraphs.
Yeah, it's always like the first comment is like way too knowledgeable about the game.
Yeah. And the person just registered, you're like, who did that?
Yeah.
The PR person who just sent me an email complaining, I don't know.
Yeah. I've gotten 1 or 2 emails from developers who weren't very happy about review scores.
I like the Ask a Journalist.
That's all. I don't want to spend... I want to do like 2 a week just because...
no, those are fun. I like getting to talk about the shit that pisses us off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
No, I mean, some of those questions I remember reading through, and it's like I really wanted to answer them right away. And
because people really don't understand. People a lot of people really think that we're all corrupt and being bought by
they
advertisers.
just have no idea how we.
I don't know whose morals are. I don't know whose morals are so shaky that well, I guess I'll change my score. It's like not only do you not only do you not get to be a journalist, you don't get to do anything if your morals are that loose. Where you're like, oh, somebody told me to do something differently, I will do it unquestionably.
And just to add, I don't want to lengthen this too much, but on Reddit recently, we had an exclusive review. We gave it a great score. And, someone immediately said...
Bias.
Oh, they have an exclusive review. Of course the score is great. And I'm like, look, we don't change our review score because it's exclusive.
Right.
We get the exclusive first, then we review it, choose a score, and it's fair.
You don't fight for an exclusive review if it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A lot.
You fight for an exclusive review that is kind of assumed it's going to be strong. A case of that not necessarily mattering was we did Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days. We had a 24-hour exclusive on it. We were able to post the first review. Got a 7. Interesting case. We didn't get any blowback from Square.
Yeah, no.
Nobody said anything. It was kind of like, no, that's kind of how the game turned out. It's
just
all right.
because we have an exclusive, we're not going to give it a higher score.
Generally, if we negotiate for an exclusive and then it ends up a lower score, sometimes we'll negotiate. We'll go back to the publisher and say, okay, we're giving a lower score. You can open up the the gates earlier.
Yeah, sometimes we have rescinded the exclusive because we're like, look. We arranged this assuming this game was going to be top notch. It's really not.
Right.
You're clearly going to get pissed.
Yeah.
So we'll just try to break even here, and everyone else can post their review the same time.
We try to make it fair for them, but we never change our opinion just because it's exclusive.
As somebody who posts a dishonest opinion, whether it's exclusive or not, is begging to get drummed out of the industry. And there have been times when I've never personally met with anyone where I've been thinking it's like, oh, it's fucking amateur hour over here. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's gonna, just give a game a score because he feels that it's expected of him. I've read stuff like that.
Which is how a lot of Famitsu's scores are given, which is it's the fan,
that's a little weird.
What you expect the game
really
should
weird.
Get.
And there's a certain wisdom to that, in that it's like, well, people are going to complain about this score, so we might as well just give it the score they expect.
Right.
But it's also dishonest, and
they're rating expectations.
Yeah.
The Japanese media is very different.
It's like if you have
strange.
any sort of journalistic training, then integrity will be extremely important to you.
It's the most important. The review I was talking about it's kind of obvious when I said it's the Uncharted 2 review. A guy in the UK reviewed it, gave it a perfect score. And, yes, it was exclusive, but reading his review, he sounded legitimately excited, and I trust his integrity.
Knowing Nathan, he's been excited about that game for fucking months.
Yeah, I haven't been excited about that game, but I am now because I read that review.
And it's not. He didn't write that thinking this is exclusive. I better be nice. He was legitimately thinking this is a great game, and it probably is.
Yeah, he'd been.
I'm not going to question him.
He'd been twittering about it.
Yeah, just because it was exclusive doesn't mean we upped it to a 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't mean we negotiate a score before.
And I feel like I'm saying stuff that everyone
PR
knows.
People haven't tried to pull that.
Oh no,
shit.
it's been tried.
Yeah, but we don't go.
Me personally,
and I feel.
And generally, when that happens, it's always coming from people above them, and we just say, no, we're not going to do that, and they're like, okay.
And I feel like I'm beating a dead horse saying, yes, we have integrity, but people do question this. They do think that we've given it a 10 just because it's exclusive. No, if it was a 7, we would have given it a 7.
Right. We're not saying we're more.
This now with. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, we're not saying we're more integral.
Right.
Than
no, we're not
going to
pull a Dan Shui.
No, we know people at pretty much every publication. They're the same as us. They don't. There's no lying going on.
This is going to piss EA off if they ever hear it. But Need for Speed Shift me really deserved a 10.
You think?
Absolutely. And the fact that I was like, I can't give Need for Speed a 10. That's a ridiculous notion.
Yeah.
If you care about racing games, play Shift, and this is amazing. It's really, really good. And I really wish I would have done it. And I'm like, what is my reservation? Well, it'll be outdated in 8 months.
Yeah.
They'll never update it like Turismo or Forza.
Right.
That's a strike against it. Is it a 1-point strike against it? Probably
it's hard.
Not.
It's hard to choose a score. It's really hard.
It felt too weird to my credibility to give Need for Speed a 10.
That's fair.
People weren't fucking kind to me. I don't have a copy of the game.
I don't know that it is that it is fair, actually.
You don't think so? That it's hard to choose a score?
I mean, ideally, it's foolish to say that we look at games in a vacuum, but, I mean, the trappings of the brand shouldn't necessarily come into it. If a game deserves a 10, it deserves a 10.
I think you're absolutely right, but Forza got a great score for me, Forza 2, because it has a giant online community. I can switch cars with you. You can paint my car. Give it back to me. Auction houses. Shit'll never happen with Need for Speed. Ever, ever, ever. There'll never be a big community for it because there needs to be another one in a year. So part of that for me was what made Forza great. And what will make, what is going to make Forza 3 great, but like Need for Speed is a racing game, god damn it. Like it's the truest revelation in a straight up racing game I've seen in years.
And that raises an interesting point, like the Left 4 Dead 2 people. It's like the protesters. It's like why are you expecting anything different when they're working with EA? It's like that's EA's standard business model. Is you put out a sequel a year later.
Yeah.
Like how is this confusing to you?
Well, I don't think EA really steps in Valve's business. Right?
Yeah, I don't think that's much to do with EA. Well, again, I think that just has to do with
I think Valve is just really wanted to add
this
more.
other Source engine. The Source engine is a pretty easy engine to deal with.
It's also a fairly old engine.
It's a very old engine.
I'm surprised that
Brett's waving his.
Let's move on.
We should move on.
I'm
sorry.
It's a good question, but we're just literally talking in circles, jumping from topic
Time
to topic.
to get moving.
Point taken.
Question of the week.
We've also been drinking.
That moves to question of the week, which is also in GamesRadar.com/forum. So you can interact with the site in many ways. Enter contests.
Yeah.
Answer the question of the week, which we're about to do, or submit questions with Ask the Games journalists.
GamesRadar.com/forums or GamesRadar.com. There will be a question of the week article up.
Yeah, there's two places you can post response. Last week's question of the week was, what's your favorite? Because it was Disney week last week.
Sorry.
Yeah. There's a lot of Disney.
Yeah, where Chris wrote almost all of our articles.
Chris wrote a week.
Apologize again. Michael wasn't here to correct me on my grammar, so that's partially his fault.
True, I did notice a few things.
But
that's fine. They were entertaining. I enjoyed reading them all.
Last week's question was, what is your favorite animation? Like, be it animated movie,
find the thread.
Short, whatever. It was the thread was called something else. It was just called Answers to Question 53. Instead of Question 53, what is your favorite, blah, blah, blah. Sausage Lawsons, who just won what?
He won the Street Fighter contest.
He won nothing this week.
He wins everything.
He wins everything.
He's a good boy, though.
His favorite animator of all time is Chuck Jones. Embedded a lot of Daffy Duck cartoons.
Yeah.
So that was good.
God
good
damn,
stuff.
I should have given him more.
The Chaplain was Yellow Submarine.
Ugh.
Really?
He says he still finds them funny and embedded.
That's one of those things you kind of pretend to like, right?
I gotta admit, I watched it. And I was
Beatles,
like, I'm not the audience for this, but what?
Yeah.
Nobody's the audience
funny
for
about
that
movie.
Rad Puncher said, since last week, Henry said Iron Giant, and somebody already said Wall-E, so he said Spirited Away, which I really like.
It's a good movie.
Flying MX said the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner movie.
It's all about the loony Bugs Bunny movie.
Sure.
Bobbity embedded pictures of Land Before Time and Land Before Time Math Adventure and
fuck.
Kindergarten Adventure.
Oh, fuck.
But then, following that up, Chris's favorite movie was what?
Pinocchio.
And do you remember that little ditty? I'm showing him a picture of the
the JTT,
the live-action Pinocchio with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
The Jonathan Taylor Thomas Pinocchio movie made me ashamed to have a Jonathan Taylor Thomas poster on my wall, and ashamed to have a Martin Landau poster on my wall.
Jesus Christ! Did you have that poster?
Of course I did. It's JTT,
I'm just ashamed
man.
of the human race that Jonathan Taylor
How do you have? How do you have a high school textbook without a JTT cover? I don't
easily. Banned in DC: The Adventures of Mark Twain, which I really like because it pulled like no punches, and it's that creep.
It's really weird.
No, seriously, go watch Adventures of Mark Twain. Look for.
I'm surprised you've seen that.
Oh, definitely. What's it called? The Stranger.
The Stranger.
Mysterious Stranger or something like that. It's a bunch of kids meet the devil, and it's really fucking creepy, and it's the kind of thing...
Oh, I thought it was based on the Camus book. Oh, never mind.
The kind of thing...
It's under the headline on YouTube, the creepiest animation ever.
It's like, they would never make a cartoon like this. Anyway, other shout-outs, Three Caballeros.
Beautiful.
Somebody's mentioned. Turbo said The Hunchback was his favorite Disney movie. I've never seen it, so I didn't know what Chris thought as the Disney...
I've heard that it could be very good with the Phantom Edit if they took out all the musical numbers.
Oh, really? Because he embedded the song Hellfire in it, like it was really good.
Well, except for that one. That one's really good.
Is it?
I've seen that on YouTube. That's fantastic.
Who's the voice of the villain in Hunchback? It sounded really familiar.
Jason Alexander.
Is it?
Kidding.
Really?
No. He's the voice of one of the gargoyles.
All right. And then I didn't know this existed, but G.I. Joe Resolute was mentioned in there, and I'd never heard of it.
Oh, no.
And because I'm like, I'm not even going to watch this because the cartoon's always terrible.
How resolved are they?
Resolute. That's how well. But it was actually really good. What?
You promise?
Yeah, it was.
What was good about it?
For reals?
Yeah, it was because it was only like YouTube video 2 of 10 of the whole 40-minute thing or whatever. But it was G.I. Joe cartoon, pretty good, pretty well animated, and this is modern, so it's not like the old style at all. It's new character designs, and it was basically Storm Shadow calling out Snake Eyes. We have to fight and settle this ancient rivalry. The dialogue is not blah blah blah. Let's go run and save the day. But it was
I'm a computer.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. It was Snake Eyes in the jungle, setting traps, actually killing people.
People were dead.
Yeah,
they didn't explode.
No, they didn't explode. Like he
Wow.
actually
They didn't parachute out of their bodies.
He takes out the sword, stabs someone, breaks a guy's neck, hangs a guy. And it's really pretty violent, especially because of G.I. Joe's stereotype of you're 4 feet away and no one dies from a gunshot because you can't hit anything. I just thought if you're interested at all, at least visually, in the characters of G.I. Joe, because they all look really cool, standing next to
You're
them,
asking a lot here.
Not saying
Seriously,
anything.
the lore of G.I. Joe.
No,
Get the fuck out! What the fuck are you
I
doing?
just said nothing about the lore. I said the
Pork chop
look.
sandwiches.
I know, but what does G.I. Joe have other than being cool action
Love that.
figures?
This was really neat.
Okay. I
I pretend to believe you so we can move on. Go.
Yes.
I
Sorry,
do
I had
respect
something
your
to bring up. You were right.
I do
yeah,
respect it,
you're
but
right.
G.I. Joe, so stupid.
It
It
is.
always was stupid.
Yeah, but characters
It
look
had to
neat.
compete with He-Man and Transformers.
Yeah.
The new question
He's
is...
sick and we're fucking with him. It's terrible.
Well, it's also 'cause I'm the only one that's sober, and that's the most annoying thing in the world.
That is true. I'll second that.
You sober asshole.
I get it.
Yeah, and all of our listeners are probably sober now too, and we're probably pissing them off. So let's move on.
This is me peeing your face.
Brett's the most likable person
It
on
has
this
been
podcast right now.
50 minutes.
That's weird.
50 minutes in the third
Usually plays the
segment.
villain.
All right.
Since that was last week's question, the new question of the week, answer in the forums or on the article that Tyler will be posting on the main page.
I know I will.
Yeah, I'll answer both. What's a random game that you finished that no one else you know did?
Ooh.
It's kind of like your pet game or something that you went through, and anytime you can't really talk about it with anyone personally because you're like, I don't know, I loved it. I went through it 5 times or whatever, and
Yeah.
no one else did.
It's a goodie. You're gonna have to give us a second answer.
Yeah, I do too.
Jaws Unleashed.
Yeah.
I
We
finished
all
that
know
fucker
Michael.
twice.
Michael went
But
nuts
why?
over
Why?
that.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
First time for the review and second time for that stupidest moments in Jaws Unleashed or whatever the hell it was.
That
I
was
did
3
for
years
Shark
after
Week.
the review.
Yeah.
Is it still fun for you?
It was more fun the second time, actually,
Okay.
because I was ready for all of the flaws, and I didn't encounter them as much. But, that's something that nobody else can relate to, because nobody else bothers with that horrible game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to not to overlap things I mentioned before. I finished all the Tony Hawks.
Yeah.
But Mario 2, not only with I could tell you the warp zones off the top of my head, but I've also once a year I do finish it all the way through every level. Sometimes I torture myself and don't do level 4-3 with the princess. And I played it again on advanced, and I got even the harder shit that you had to dig and find that was new. I did all that, and everyone's like, really? That was the first Mario Advance game? Why don't you just wait?
Yeah.
2-3 or
Right, 3-4.
4-2 or whatever the fuck.
It was 4-3, 2 World, 3 Yoshi's Island.
Very confusing.
Fucking really confusing games.
Very confusing.
The first one that comes to my mind is Werewolf: The Last Warrior for NES, and it's a the cover is a werewolf with blade arms busting out of the box.
I remember that one because it was extensively covered in Nintendo Power.
Yeah, and me and one of my other friends just decided, well, this is the coolest game ever. And
Please expect a picture of this in the article.
And played it. Oh, we've had it in panos before.
I know.
It's the werewolf with
So
a bare
beautiful.
chest holding an American flag. The game is not patriotic at all in any way, and for no reason. Well, I believe the reason, if I were to guess as to why the ending is a werewolf holding the American flag, because I'm sure as shit that was not in the Japanese version. Gulf War just happened. We need a random patriotism. He's holding...
At the end...
Yeah. And of course, and then it ends with the villain going like, next time. Guess what never happened? They never
The next time.
There was no
that was
next time.
Maybe they'll do a sequel now.
That is not a good game, but the idea of a werewolf with blade hands, you're like, yeah, as a 9-year-old, I'm on it.
That's not enough.
It's not enough. It needs you can climb on the walls with your sword hands.
Oh, sword hands.
He also has a bionic ass.
Such good hands.
Also, I would add that just about any PS3 or PC exclusive is something I've probably played, but nobody else here at this table has.
No, that I feel
true?
the
I
same
love
way.
Heavenly Sword. I love Heavenly
Every
Sword.
Command and Conquer I've loved and played through. And
I did beat the new
Andy
Bionic
Serkis
Commando.
was fantastic in Heavenly
Yeah,
Sword.
good for you. No.
Did anyone finish the new Bionic Commando? Because I did
No.
go all the way through
No.
that. And
But, you know, we're all interested in hearing about it because of stupid wife arm.
Yeah, Wife Arm is pretty good.
I played...
Probably the greatest arm in history.
This is like hard
Sounds
because
like
like,
a sexual aid. Like a Dutch wife.
because
or
I can't think
something.
of bad games I've played through, but like I played through Max Payne and Max Payne 2 and loved them.
I played through them too.
Yeah, you did, but like
Yeah.
most people I
This is
talk
about I did, but I don't count.
No, but most people I talk
And here,
to.
here
are-
I was expecting we'd have like a dance through the meadow moment because we found each other.
No, I love the Max Payne series, and you do apparently have played through both of
Who
them.
doesn't love Max Payne?
How many times did you say
Exactly.
you did it earlier this week?
What's that?
How many times did you say you played through Max Payne earlier this
I
week?
played through Max Payne like 2 or 3 times.
I thought I heard 6.
Okay, maybe.
You know what? He's played through most of both of them.
I
Gonna keep downgrading it to
thing is, I love
what is
them,
Max Payne?
and occasionally I find
Played
a
through
person
both
like
games
Michael
almost
who-
once and then cut that in half and double it. And
Yeah,
let it-
exactly.
Who played through as a nude Mona Sax.
Yeah, I did
Breakdown
too.
shifted in
It was
reverse.
great, but most of the people I meet are like, "Yeah, that game was good. I didn't finish it. Like I played it on the, like on a console. I played it on the PC,
The
which
load
is
times were terrible on consoles.
right. It was great on the PC, and it's the same with the whole Command and Conquer series. I've played all of them. I've loved them except for a few exceptions when they tried to do a first-person shooter because they were stupid.
I love them except the exceptions.
Except the exceptions that sucked.
That's funny.
I've played through a lot of those.
Yeah, I love them except for the games that I didn't love.
And then, like, the worst one is one I can't even remember the name of. I don't know what it was called. I don't know what it was. I don't know what system it was on.
Wow.
It was a game I played when I was a kid, and my parents had some form of computer.
Command and Conquer White Flag?
Thank you.
It ran off of a floppy disk, so Commodore era kind of thing. It was about a penguin. There were 99 levels. You were a penguin. The levels went from the top to the bottom.
It's
they
a
were
mystery to solve.
They were kind of like
You didn't have to roll an egg, did you?
I don't remember an egg, but I remember being a penguin and going through these puzzly levels that were very Prince of Persia-y.
Puzzly.
But they were like one screen, and you had to get from the top to the bottom,
Weird.
like on these platforms.
And it's not Toki-Tori?
Loved it. I don't think so, but
It's
I don't
not
remember.
Amazing Penguin.
It might have been that. Yeah.
That's a game.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is that it?
I don't think that's it.
No.
I don't know. If you can
We need to
name,
solve this.
if
I
you
think
can
that
get
came-
in the forums and tell me what this game is,
That came later.
very early,
Next week, I will give you this.
pre-Macintosh, pre-PC.
You will get your own Michael Raparez sound effect.
It is a very early
I
game
will.
that I just know it was 99 levels. You played as a penguin. It was snowy. You had to go from the top of this sort of side-scrolling level.
Okay.
What can I say? I loved it.
That's fascinating.
Okay.
Anyway.
Fascinating.
Let's tease what we're doing next week. I'm going to do
Oh.
a Forza 3 review, hopefully.
Yeah,
Expect a
you've
9 or
already
10.
done it
I
in this
haven't.
podcast before you were supposed
I
to.
haven't. I'm going to email those
You
fuckers and see what that
bastard.
second disc is about they installed.
Yeah, it is confusing.
I'm going to be doing a preview of Way of the Samurai 3, which I've been playing, and you all should know about.
That sounds really exciting.
Because it is really
What is
exciting.
Way of the Samurai?
It's one of the most obscure and underrated series of the last generation. There were 2 games for the PS2.
Oh, I do
They
know
were
what
both
that is.
fantastic, and they both kind of got a bum rap, both from reviewers and from the public, just because like people didn't really get it because like, oh, this is really short, oh, this is really clumsy. That's not the point. The Way of the Samurai games, what they are is, they're structured, themed kind of like a Kurosawa movie. You're a samurai in feudal Japan. You have a little
Feudal
village.
Japan.
Feudal
Nah.
Japan. You have a little village to explore. But the thing is, they're like a choose-your-own-adventure, in that you're constantly offered points at which the plot can just completely diverge from whatever. You can kill everyone you meet if you want, and that can completely throw the story off. The thing is that you're... stop it, Tyler.
He'll figure it out next week in time for his preview.
I just ruined his entire pitch.
Somebody else tease. I really got to piss.
It's kind of an awesome game. I haven't played through enough.
I'm working on a thing that's for Wednesday that's about one of the elements that sucks, and then a thing Thursday that
I hate that element.
I know. That's a tease. It's great, and it's about something that sucks. But the thing I'm doing the next day, Borium, can't get enough of it.
Wow.
The next day, working with the art team to make a really cool thing that I think just about everyone who's a gamer at all will love.
I'm cooler than my Kingdom Hearts desktop background.
Oh, way cooler.
Depends on who's looking at it.
Too true.
Very diplomatic.
But yes.
I've just put up, and by just I mean 2 days ago, because this posts on Friday,
You're right.
an article about censorship in games.
Yeah.
I also, which is Australia is bass backwards, and let's laugh at them.
Right.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I also just ruined Michael's pitch by miming eating pizza because I'm hungry, and I have to pee. And I've got more stuff coming up in a couple weeks, a review of Borderlands, and also look at the December issue of PlayStation, the official magazine, which, because magazines are insane, comes out this month in October. What's wrong with them? I did the cover story on Modern Warfare 2, so if you see a soldier on the cover while you're at the store, look at it.
Not have an article in the new P-Tom?
And find my name.
I'll have one of the
I'm going to have several.
I call it PlayStation, the official Games Radar magazine, because we're writing the whole thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we're awesome, and they love us.
Yeah.
I think the first several headlines are Games Radar people.
Yeah, and also our boss is their managing editor right now.
Not to knock them, but please don't read my article.
Your article's wonderful.
About a certain game.
Ugh.
All right,
just go buy P-Tom. We wrote it, so that's all we're saying.
That's 71.
Way of the Samurai 3 comes out in a couple weeks.
Who's taking us out, Elston?
This week is a remix by Shal Riley and the Double Ice Backfire of the Chinese Ninja Warrior theme from Mortal Kombat, which we played in podcast 20, and it again, Mortal Kombat the album is one of the greatest things you could ever hear. That it even exists, and they finally paid proper tribute and did a cover.
Really good cover.
But yeah, it's on YouTube. Chinese Ninja Warrior by Shal Riley and the Double Ice Backfire.
Woo!
1, 2, 3.
Real quick, did anyone else want to read, say, Charlie's feed today? Start at the top, and then just.
Charlie commented on Lizzie Cuevas' status. Charlie commented on his own photo. Charlie is engaged to Sherry.
Charlie is engaged?
No.
What?
Chinese Ninja Warrior, with your heart so cold, Sub-Zero. Whoa, your life is a mystery. Why do you wear the mask, Sub-Zero? Let's go! Let's go! Chinese Ninja Warrior, with your heart so cold, Sub-Zero.